in the shadows. He'll send us in to find them.
126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Oh gosh, I am back. Let's see what is going on here. Everything should be working. I think everything should be good, dude. Like it took me forever to update my computer. I haven't been on it in like 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more than that. And man, I've just been so busy. I don't know what to tell you guys. Not here to make excuses, but I'm here to tell you the truth. And let me go ahead and make my announcements really quick. I should have done that prior. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Somebody's talking about Israel in Discord. Disavow. Anything about Israel, I'm just gonna immediately disavow. I don't need to hear that. A lot of hate in people's hearts. Don't want to get into that. Don't do that here on this channel. God, dude. It's been a ride. Give me money. Smiley face. Okay, cool. Let me make sure that I'm live where I need to be. Let's check up on my bitches over on BitChute. Hopefully it is working. Surprisingly, the computer did not fall apart while I've been eerily absent. Okay. All right. I hear myself somewhere. What's going on? Okay. So I appear to be live on BitChute. Very cool. I don't know where I just heard my voice. I just heard my voice somewhere. Now I'm about to chimp out because I don't know where that's coming from. Let's see. How are we doing on Rumble? Where my Rumblers at? Okay, we are live on Rumble. All right, very good. Everything is working. Let me make sure my chat is working as well. Okay, the chat should be working. Goodness. Yeah, there have been some false rumors spread by an individual that I will not name that said that I was going to abandon this project, and that's just absolutely not true. Hold on, what's going on here? How do I get rid of this window? I have this like little window for... Okay, you know what? It's not affecting anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. All right, so I got to go ahead and do my spiel. All right. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another exciting episode of the Watchfrogs. We go live every Tuesday night on the Watchfrogs channel, which is home to the Fake Crimes docuseries, a variety of other videos, and, of course, the Watchfrogs podcast. You can enjoy the show live on a variety of platforms like BitChute, Rumble, Trovo, dlive, Kick, Twitch, X, formerly known as Twitter, and YouTube. For those who prefer an audio-only experience of the show, you can head over to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else where podcasts exist. Links are in the description. If you wish to support the show and help keep the Watchfrogs independent, feel free to head over to my Subscribe Star page, Locals page, or perhaps toss a generous donation in my Cash App. You can also Super Chat. All Super Chats are read and very much appreciated. Once again, links are all in the description, wherever you may be enjoying the show. I have fallen behind so much. I haven't even hold on, I gotta get rid of this thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't even bothered to upload the audio only version of the show to Spotify. I've completely abandoned it. Well, not abandoned it, but I've neglected it. That's the word I should be using. Neglected it, because I haven't abandoned anything. It's just man, I don't want to get too deep into it. Am I in any sort of trouble? No. Are things getting a little too hectic for me? Yeah. I've just been incredibly busy, you know. As I mentioned earlier in the Discord, I bit off way more than I can chew. I bit off way more than I can chew. And the reason why I've been so hard on myself and been so preoccupied with these projects is because when I was a lot younger, I had this like very fatal personality flaw where I never finished the things that I started. And obviously I've grown quite a bit, and I am now more than ever committed to the things that I set my mind to, the music, this channel, obviously my careers, or career, it should be plural actually. And I'm doing these remodels, these home remodels, and they're kicking my butt, for lack of better words. They really, really are. And I made some good friends along the way and some enemies, I guess. And it's just been really, really challenging because I'm basically taking on the role as like this project manager. Again, I'm biting off way more than I can chew. But today was a good day. And the past couple weeks, there were issues with some of the guys that I hired that I've been working with. And they've been giving me some problems, for lack of a better word. I feel like they try to pull a fast one on me. They try to remedy the situation. Of course, I didn't chimp out. I've been very gracious and mature in how I'm approaching these problems that are kind of, smacking me around in the face. And I think it's pretty much resolved at this point. But the work is not done yet, and I need to finish this work. I need to finish it in like a month and a half to 2 months because I can't neglect the Etsy shop. I can't neglect the channel. I can't neglect my duties. I haven't turned this computer on in over 3 weeks. I feel like it's almost been like a month, and I need a break, man. I need a break from reality. There's just too much reality right now in my life, and it's not bad. It's just I feel like I give people the wrong impression about myself, and I know that's my fault because I put on a front. Everybody puts on a front, even though I act like I don't. I do. But the reality is that I'm actually quite agreeable and friendly, and I feel like that gives people, I guess, a permission slip to take advantage of me, or at least attempt to. And that's just not how I am. People aren't going to pull a fast one on me. I don't tolerate blatant disrespect. I dealt with that when I was younger. I put up with some nonsense from some, girls in my life. And I mentioned it before, but I was recently dating somebody, and it was going okay. But there were some things coming through the personality department that I didn't like, and I put a stop to it, okay? I put a stop to it, and I stood my ground like a man, and I let this girl know, like, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to treat me like that. I don't know what kind of, dudes in your life you talk to that way, but it's not going to be me. And I severed. And now I'm doing these remodels, and I'm working with a lot of people. And again, I'm taking on the role of like this as like a project manager. And while there wasn't outward disrespect, there were disrespect in other regards. Like I waited around pretty much an entire business day waiting for these contractors to show up to finish work that was supposed to be completed that I paid a lot of money for. And, I brought it up maturely. I talked to, the owners of these companies. I dealt with it. And it's been rectified. And also, I have a lot of friends, and I feel like I've taken them for granted as well, because I know that I'm so paranoid, and I have this like issue with trusting people, even people that I'm like relatively close to. And I put on this front thinking I'm like an independent woman who don't need no man and don't need no help or anything like that. But I swallowed my pride. And as soon as I called one of my buddies up and I said, hey man, I'm having some problems. And I explained the problems that I was having with some of these contractors. And now they're trying to pull a fast one on me. I wasn't really happy with the quality of the work. And I know he's got like a relative that can help. And I called the relative up. And he was just so professional and so fucking cool, and he just handled it right away. So in about a week, sometime next week, we're going to meet up, and we're hopefully going to finish the thing that I need to get finished to get this remodel done. Right now, I'm doing a bunch of drywall work, and it's going a little bit slower than I anticipated, but, whatever, man. My abilities, my skill set is primarily electrical work. The extent of drywall repair that I'm doing, I've never done in my entire life, and it's a lot of work. And again, I work full time. I'm just a working class guy, just trying to make this happen, And I'm going to fucking finish this. If it's the last thing I do, like I have to finish it. Not just because of the obligations that I set forth, the obligations I have to other people, but this promise that I made to myself that I am a new person and I'm not going to live the way that I used to. I got to finish the things that I started, and I'm going to finish this. And I'm not going to abandon my channel. I'm not going to abandon this project, my analysis, and the music, and all the other stuff that I want to do, my puppetry. I have clients and shit. And, it's just stressful, man, and like I'm doing, like, Lord is my witness, I'm doing everything right, I'm treating people with respect, and along comes these hurdles, along comes these obstacles that I just wasn't really prepared for, but I'm rolling with the punches as I go, and I feel like I'm handling them as well as anybody can, and I'm proud of myself, I really am. And I've made a lot of progress, but it's just been really stressful, you guys. It's been weighing on me. Like, it was so stressful, like, I almost, like, wanted to fucking cry because I was just being taken advantage of. People were taking advantage of my kindness and shit, And it just sucks. It just sucks that there's people out there that, encounter a guy like me, and then they feel like they can squeeze a bunch of money out of me, try to extract, fleece me and shit. And it's just not how I roll. And again, I'm just like, I go into these projects and I'm just paralyzed by my own thoughts because I can't stop thinking. I never stop thinking. There's no peace in my mind, if you understand what I'm saying. And it just sucks, man. It really, really sucks. But I'm getting through it, and I got to go back tomorrow to do as much as I possibly can. One of the rooms in this remodel is like completely done. I just got to put up the closets and whatnot. And for the most part, it's going pretty good. The hardest projects are for the most part done. It's really just getting the walls repaired. And it's not like the biggest space in the world, but like, dude, there was just a lot of fucking damage that needed to be repaired. And usually, like, when I remove a receptacle, sometimes when you remove the faceplate, there's a little bit of damage around the little box, the little plastic box where the receptacle resides. And, I could repair that. That's not a problem for me. But when I'm doing an entire home, and there's limitations because you can't really mess with the wall, because if you agitate the wall too much, you make too many cuts, you engage with the wall with very aggressive power tools, you're going to get asbestos everywhere. So I got to deal with encapsulating this asbestos and making sure it doesn't fly everywhere. So it's like a hazard, and we got to get this ready for these new tenants and shit. So it's just stressful. Okay. So that's where I've been. That's what's been going on with me. One of my buddies is like, cause they were out here, they came out and visited, and I met this girl. We met out. Well, I don't want to get too into it, but they're like, yo, dude, you getting any pussy lately or anything? I'm like, dude, I don't have fucking time, bro. I don't even want to think about women. I don't want to even think about dating. I don't want to think about having fucking sex with anybody. Dude, I don't have the time. I don't have the fucking time. That's honest to God's truth. I almost didn't want to do a late night show just because of how stressed I am. Again, I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. But, like, I feel guilty. And, again, I don't want to give people the impression that I abandoned the channel. So here I am. Oh God. Let's see. Drill de-stress girl. Yeah, baby. I got to de-stress. Question mark from Brad Skag. I don't know what that means. Man. What's with all the streams today? I being forced to pick wisely. Ayo, where's all the goobers? I don't know where all the goobers are at. They're probably asleep. Can we get a short Bible reading? We'll be getting into some consumed sins, guys. There's some really good consumed sins coming up. Trade talk, nice. Yeah, man. It's just like, dude, like, man, like, how do I put this? When you're like hiring a bunch of contractors and they're doing a bunch of work on multiple remodels and shit, and like, and what stings even worse is like the guys that I hired, like, I've worked with them before. I've had them in my house before do work for me. And like, I was super impressed by them. They're a little bit more on the pricier side, but you get what you pay for. So like, the money wasn't the problem. It just came when they're like, you know, they're giving me these bullshit estimates. They're giving me these bullshit quotes. They were being dishonest about the initial estimates. They were being dishonest about some stuff that transpired before they even started the work. And there was some glaring mistakes that were made. So the place where a furnace was installed, there was an outlet in there. I wasn't aware that the outlet was in there, and the outlet was a two-prong outlet. So the furnace slash AC HVAC system that was installed, we couldn't even test it. And then when it was all said and done, I'm like, guys, we're not done here yet. This was never tested. You know, this isn't ready. And they sent a technician out, and I told them that, like, I need space to move in there. They had to remove this vent. And then I was able to go in and install an industrial grade receptacle. Everything was done to code. Everything is good. There's a fit the proper faceplate. Everything is good. And then I was being told, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, don't use the heat right now. Well, why would I? It's the summer. It's like, well, the flue pipe is not installed yet. You know, the installers didn't do it. What happened was the flue pipe became disconnected when they removed the vent. So the guy was just fucking lying to me, man. And then there was another electrician that installed like a quick disconnect, and he came to my house, or not my house. He came to this house, this property, 3 separate times, because the first time it was wired incorrectly and it tripped all the breakers, and it charred the quick disconnect terminals. And I'm like, dude, NSC code, if it is damaged or charred, that's going to cause faults, it's going to cause circuit issues. This thing needs to be replaced. You know, the work order ordered brand new everything. It needs to look brand new, and it needs to be brand new. And he's like, oh yeah, you know, well, you're wrong, but you're right. No, motherfucker, I'm right. I'm not gonna get into a pissing contest with you. Like, this is what needs to get done, and I'm not gonna pay anything for it. Like, you guys screwed the pooch, and you got to get it fixed. So the guy finally, so he the second time, he kind of Frankensteins this quick disconnect, and it looked like shit. And I'm like, dude, like, this isn't right at all. Again, like, I'm not, obviously, like, I didn't do the quick disconnect, but I'm like, this isn't fucking right at all. So then he came back with a brand new disconnect. It was all brand new. Finally. So yeah, the system works. Now it's back to the drywall. Getting the walls ready, and the walls got to get done, and then I got to get the flooring done on this property. And then after that's done, then I'm just going to be installing all the appliances myself, which is easy. It's like installing a standard outlet. And then I got to do the cabinets, which is going to be really straightforward. It's not really a problem for me. So yeah, and then, you know, got to paint the exterior, and I got a paint gun, so that shouldn't be a problem. It's just a lot of work, a lot of work. And again, and then there were just the hiccups, man. The only thing that went well was a rehabilitation of the cast iron pipes underneath this home. The home was built in 1953. So we ran a camera down there, and in parts of the cast iron, you can clearly see the pipes are kind of like caving in on themselves, sort of. I noticed more cracking on the bottom than the top, which is probably better, because if it was on the top, then it would just kind of cave in. You know, gravity would do all the damage, but fortunately that wasn't the case, and we were able to save the cast iron pipes and reline them. So we got proper drainage going out into the city, and it was also not that expensive either. It was only like 14 grand, as opposed to digging through the foundation and replacing everything. That would have been a freaking nightmare. That would have just destroyed everything. The plans for the property, at least. So it's been I'm probably gonna do videos detailing, you know, like, because detailing this project, because there's a lot of like videos out there, and I know for a fact they're fake. The way that they're structured, the things that they're talking about in regards to remodels, because that's like the new thing right now. And they always gets a lot of clicks too, especially on Facebook, where you have like these like cute little girls. They're like, I bought this property for like $10 and I'm remodeling it, and here's me in the bathroom. I'm like, you're full of shit. I know you're full of shit. I know you probably had like multiple dudes behind you coming in and completing that job, because I know for a fact you didn't do it by yourself. I just know it. Like, I'm not stupid, you know. Again, like, people who are in the trades just know better. I just didn't know to the extent to which how fake they were. I just didn't know. The worst offenders would be like those like HGTVs, or those TV shows where they're doing like those extreme renovations, extreme remodels and stuff. Yeah, and you have like this like dude and like in a suit, and then like some chick who in super tight yoga leggings, and they're like, we're gonna renovate this and we're gonna flip it and blah blah blah, and they're like pretending to work, and I just know for a fact they're not doing it, especially in the time that it takes to get these projects done. I don't know. Yeah, again, these people have crews. They have contractors probably right behind them, right behind the camera crew, and then they go in and they do what they got to do. It's a lot different when it's mostly just me doing everything. I've done like over $8,000 worth of electrical work. And I was also quoted because I was curious. I was quoted, I think, a little over 17 grand to do all the drywall repair. If I were to go with somebody, they would have taken out all the walls, and they would have just replaced them with new drywall. And I get that's probably the best thing to do because it is a pain in the ass to repair damaged drywall, like brown paper and stuff exposed. Like, I get that it's a little bit easier, and it's also more efficient and a lot easier to do when you have a crew of men helping you. I don't have a crew of men helping me for the most part, unless it's stuff that I know I'm not going to be touching, like the HVAC system or the water heater, or even just rehabilitating the pipes. And the first thing I did was the roofing, and the roofing was a really really extreme project for this remodel that I'm working on. And I got lucky. I got so lucky. I am so blessed that I was selling a bunch of tools that I didn't need. I inherited these tools, and I was just saving up money, making money for some of the projects that I was working on. And this guy came by and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a roofer." Well, he told me this in Spanish. We were using our phones to communicate because I obviously don't speak that language. And he's like, "Dude, let me go up there and look at it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So he's looking at it. He's like thinking for like 5 seconds, and he only charged me $5,200 to completely put up a new roof. And I'm like, "Dude, done." And I actually helped him a little bit. I was following behind him, and I was cleaning up everything, and just making sure that the dumpster that he rented out, everything was orderly, and just making his life easier, because he did me a solid, because usually that would have been like 10, 15 grand is what my guess would be. And he did it like all by himself, and the guy was like an illegal alien, but I'm just like, he doesn't know I'm a big like Trump guy, that I do this fucking show or anything like that. So I have a little bit of loyalty to this guy because he's a good man. And I'm just like, fuck, bro. I was like, well, dude, he's gonna be like the Mexican Anne Frank, just gonna hide him in one of my properties or something. Why AC's got to be so finicky? I just want something that works consistently. Dude, it's weird, man. AC is finicky because it has a lot of moving parts. In the Southwest, you have obviously the electrical component, and you also have a gas component. So you have gas lines going through the furnace. You have electrical going through the furnace, and not every house is the same. You gotta do all kinds of crazy shit. And what's even weirder, like when you're installing a brand new AC unit into a home that is as old as the one that I'm working on, there's bound to be problems. The fact that they were able to relatively do this in one day is kind of a miracle because the system worked right away. But the problem like that I have right now is that the ductwork. So the roof was in bad shape. So that was the first thing that was done on this remodel. So we got the roof done, and there was water damage because there was a swamp cooler on the roof, which is insane and so stupid, especially out here in the desert. And the swamp cooler was not installed correctly, so it was leaking into the attic, and it was leaking right on top of the ductwork. So there's a giant hole, like bigger than me, on the top of this ductwork, and it rusted out. There's a giant hole there, and I was told that they initially could seal it, and that was a lie, and they were going to charge me a lot of money to do that. And they're like, "Oh, we're going to replace the whole thing," and I'm like, "Well, you guys are telling me that this section is good, but and now you want to replace that all of it?" Like, it doesn't make any sense. Not only that, like, you guys didn't even talk to me. You're just dangling these fucking contracts in front of me, and you guys want to do all this fucking work without consulting me in the first place. Like, one, it's fucking rude and disrespectful. Two, like, we're supposed to be communicating and working as a team. So like, what the fuck, And not only that, like, you're pulling a fucking permit that costs like $2,000, and I was hoping to just do a 1-for-1, and I would have made it easy for you because there's a hallway. And right in the hallway, it's where the ductwork is, and that's where the water was leaking. And there's like this hideous bowing, and just I guess, yeah, bowing on the ceiling. So I'm gonna have to remove the ceiling, and I'm like, you guys can remove it. I'll clean it up, repair or replace that ductwork, and I'll put up the drywall myself. I'll do everything myself. Like they were charging me like 8 grand for what is probably less than 5 feet worth of ductwork, and then all of a sudden, so it started at 8 grand, and after all the fuck ups, the managers or the supervisors, they came back to me. They're like, we can do it for 5. I'm like, maybe if we had that conversation prior, I would have accepted. But I already got my buddy's brother. He's gonna come down here with his crew, and again, other certified contractors, and they're gonna probably do it for probably 25 to 3 grand. So this is done. They're lucky I didn't fucking leave a review on Yelp and on Google and did what I do. I just let it go. I let it go. Again, I don't have time to fight with these people. I don't have time to debate NEC codes with people. So I mean, that's just the reality of it. And, like my family's been watching what I've been doing with great interest. And they're like, well, that should have been included in the work. I'm like, well, that's just not really how HVAC works. So if you order, like, let's say you have a home that's in relatively good shape that was built in 1993. And there's no catastrophic issues with the roof. There's no leaks. There's no real damage or anything. But the AC is old and not working. So you call an HVAC company. They'll replace it, and they'll attach the new furnace and the whole system to the existing ductwork. And then it'll just work, and it should work reliably so long as you have it maintained. You usually want a guy to come at the very least once a year. And then it should last for a very long time. But like out in the Southwest, when it's usually 100 degrees for the majority of the year, these systems are on all the time. It's a lot of wear and tear on them. So that's why they get kind of finicky. And it gets even more problematic when, you have an older home and you gotta do the ductwork, man. The ductwork needs to be done. So it's going to get done, hopefully next week. So that's where we're at. And, yeah, man, it's just a lot of work. Like, people have no idea what goes into remodeling homes. Granted, I didn't really necessarily completely entirely know myself. I have a general understanding about it. What's up, Post Not Clarity? Thank you for the blue shields. But, like, the first thing is you got to inspect the home, make sure that it's even possible to do it. And I was under the impression that it was, and I was correct. But then you got to protect the house, and you got to protect everything that you're doing inside the home. So the first thing I had to do was the roof. All right, so now the roof is in great shape. The bones on the house are really, really good. They're really, really healthy. So it's structurally sound. So that's great. So now that the roof is done, now you got to worry about other things. So you got to make sure that water is able to drain properly, especially in an older home that has utilized the cast iron piping. So cast iron generally rots or rusts away over an extended period of time. If they're still working today, well, you're lucky. I mean, and mine were still working, but not as effectively as they should have. And the worst case scenario was they would have had to dug through the foundation. And if you got to dig through your foundation, that's like, at the very least, maybe 55 grand, maybe 50. I've seen it as high as 75 grand. Like it's really, really expensive. It would have completely wiped out the budget for this project. And luckily, New Flow from Arizona, they were able to come down here and they were able to save those pipes. And they installed a new clean out. They relined multiple lines all underneath the home, and they did such a fucking awesome job, and they saved this project. And also, I had another plumber come in and examine all the fittings for the sinks in the home and for the plumbing fixtures. And they're like, yeah, man, we're good to go. There was a couple things that needed to be done with the water heater. I'm probably going to have to replace that water heater. It's still kind of new. It's in decent shape, but there's a couple things where it's not up to code and it needs to be done correctly. So I'm going to do that probably last. I'm not really concerned about that at this moment in time. Just going to pay for it outright. It is what it is. I'd love to do it myself, but again, you got to pull permits and stuff, and it's got to be done right. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass. If you don't mind me asking, do you know where to find good people for HVAC? Man, Morse code. That's an excellent question. The best way to go about it, honestly, is to contact several HVAC companies in your area that have, like, I don't know, reputable views or reviews on their social media pages, And also, I would recommend going to companies that are relatively local, and that also they do not advertise extensively. So if you hear that they're advertising on the radio, they're advertising on TV, I wouldn't recommend going to them. Not because of their poor work, but because they're probably going to be very expensive, and they probably have a larger fleet. They have a much larger uh, they have a large staff, and all that costs money, man. All that costs money. Like I live in a pretty large home, and my HVAC system is probably less than 3.5 years old, and it took like 8 or 9 guys to put this thing together, and they were here all day, and they didn't even do it right either, because my unit has like a circuit board, and it communicates with the thermostats in my home, and they completely installed it incorrectly. And of course, I do electrical work, and I was able to install those thermostats myself, and it wasn't working. Like, it'd be on for like literally 3 or 4 minutes, and then the system would shut off. It wouldn't trip a breaker or anything, but it would just stop working. And they're like, "Oh well, Giovanni's doing something. He's up to no good." Because my fucking shit, I gotta be careful here. Someone I know recommended them to me because they're friends with the owner. So this is one of those situations where like they knew the guy and they were friends with the guy, and he did it completely wrong. And they had to send texts out here like 3 or 4 times to my house. And I'm like, where's my fucking apology? You guys did this wrong. You were trying to blame me for it. And there was one, I got no apology from them. There was no accountability. I mean, granted, I wasn't charged for all the work, but there still, it was inconvenient for me. And it was fucking stressful because I'm like, dude, I'm fucking sweating my balls off. I have all these fans on me. I'm like sleeping naked. I'm like, I wake up with dragon breath, because I'm fucking burning up. If I was like an elderly person, I probably would have died because it's so hot out here. So yeah, the best way to do it is just to contact a bunch of HVAC companies, have them make sure that they're going to do free estimates, and make it really clear what you want. And when they do the work, you got to be there. You have to be on top of it. You got to be like your own little mini general manager overseeing the work that they're doing, and you got to ask questions along the way. Because if you're not on top of it, the mistakes are going to be made. Like they, prematurely installed the furnace. They replaced the old one, which is ancient. It was like older than all the guys combined and myself. And there was a 2-prong outlet in there, and they should have told me that, so I could have replaced it before they installed it. I would have moved it into a better location, and it would have been an industrial grade receptacle. And it just would have been done properly, and it would have been ready to rock and roll. We could have tested out the unit, but we weren't able to do any of that. Hey, what's up, Hell Rider? Man, I'm good, man. I'm just venting. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you guys are all here hanging out with me. So yeah, it's been a ride, man. It's really, really been a ride. I've learned so much, and I've acquired all these like crazy tools to do like drywall work and stuff. So I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna have to buy one of those little sheds and put it in my backyard, and store more of my contractor shit. But it's a great problem to have, I guess. It could be worse. My life could be worse, and it isn't. It's just hard work. But if you want anything good in life, you got to work hard for it, man. You want to be in good health, you want to be tough, you got to go to the gym, you got to work out, you got to have a strict diet. That's hard work. Eating well, eating properly is hard work. Committing yourself to the gym for 45 minutes to an hour at the bare minimum, which is probably the safe spot. That's a Goldilocks zone, 45 minutes to an hour. That's hard work. You want to have a good career, man. You got to go to college. You got to get your associates. You got to get your bachelor's, man. That's hard work. I did it. It's one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Now the hardest thing I've ever had to do was these remodels. And I've been just doing a lot of stuff just to make money, to make all this shit happen. Somebody gave me a free pool pump. It's like $1,000 pool pump for free, and I'm going to sell it. And, just going to go back into my savings account because I just spent so much money. Yeah, man. But if you have any other questions, man, you can always DM me on Discord, and I'll steer you right, man. And like, I mean, there's just, and again, it boils down to just integrity and honesty. It's kind of the theme of the show. There's a lot of people that I've done business with on YouTube. They've contacted me. They've solicited my firearm related services, and I've never fucked anybody over. I've been always straight up honest with anybody and everybody. And I don't, people can say I'm a jerk. People can say I'm gross and offensive, but they'll never say I fucked anybody over. They can never say that I'm a fucking shyster, that I try to pull a fast one on people, because that's not what I'm about. Even in my commentary and in my presentation, like, I do my best to be as honest and as transparent as I possibly can with you guys. And a lot of content creators just cannot do that. They don't have the ability to do that. And when you're doing political analysis, I think the most important thing that an analyst can do, like an actual analyst like myself, not like a fake one, not like a commentary person, is to be honest and also be able to predict the future. That's the whole point of doing this. I mean, that's really what separates the frauds and the phonies from real motherfuckers like myself. I tell you guys how it's going to happen and why it's going to happen, and it's really, really difficult to do that, because it's not always popular to say the things that I do. I get laughed at a lot. People call me crazy, especially about the election integrity stuff. But when I posted a video where it was like I think it was titled like the most intelligent prediction of the 2024 election or something like that. I don't remember the title of it. And excuse me, I was like over 90% correct. And then prior to that, not long ago, earlier this year, when we talked about Ukraine and Russia, I said, like, dude, this is how I would do it as a strategist, as somebody who thinks strategy wise, because that's what I did in my past life, right? I did political strategy. Russia's going to have to pay some for the damages. But the Donbass has to go to Russia because those people are ethnically Russian, and Ukraine is committing a genocide. In the Donbass region, they're brutalizing those people. It's been going on since 2014. Really bad stuff. As far as I can tell, Russia won this war a long time ago, and all the news regarding Ukraine, the conflict, all of it is bullshit. And a lot of it is coming from people that I like and respect, especially in the 2A community. For whatever reason, the 2A community is all about sucking Ukraine's dick, and I don't understand that. It's kind of weird and cringe, but whatever. They're just wrong. And I've been right. And given how the peace talks have been going, I was 100% correct on how I would approach it and what I feel like should be happening. And it's almost as if President Trump and his team are a part of the watchfrogs themselves, because they're playing it out and doing it exactly how I would do it. So it's really nice. And again, and I know that bothers people because they're invested in Ukraine winning the war and coming out on top, and that's just not going to happen. Realistically, that's just not going to happen. And again, I have no beef with the people of Ukraine. I believe it is a beautiful country. They're beautiful people, and they deserve to exist. But there's some serious problems going on down there. And as far as I can tell, they lost the war. This is over. This is all over. And the best thing for now is for Ukraine to surrender the Donbass. They have to surrender it. They have to agree to it. There needs to be a guarantee that this shit isn't going to happen again, and which I think is what they've been working out for the past couple days. And we need to normalize cooperation with the beautiful people of Russia. Because again, the boomer lore and all the fear mongering surrounding Russia, like, I'm fucking over it. I don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't want to hear about Iran. I hope the conflict in Israel and Gaza ends, because I don't want to hear about all that shit anymore either. We got serious problems in this country. I mean, we're about to witness a military campaign against the Mexican cartels. It's something that I've been talking about here on this channel as well. How there are entire neighborhoods, city blocks that have been captured and controlled by these foreign cartels, these foreign gangs, which are now designated as terrorist organizations by the federal government. And it's serious. And again, like, I'm not kidding when I say, if I'm strolling through or if I accidentally make a wrong turn, they're going to kill me. Like, it's not a joke. Like, none of this is a joke. And it doesn't go well. That there goes the economy. There goes the price of gas. It's going to go up. There's going to, all these problems come about if President Trump is not successful. But I believe that he will prevail. I believe the good guys will prevail. Let me read some of your guys' comments. But I love my seed oils. No seed oils. Starting late on the stream. Glad to see you streaming. Hey, what's up, Pell? Yeah, man. I had to start late, dude. I would have started earlier, but I was like updating my computer. It was giving me a hard time, and yeah, it's done now. It's all good. Did you use your college degree in that rebuild? No, Drill. I did not. The college degree was relatively worthless. Ukraine was never gonna win. Good for them to hold out as long as he did. With our money, I know, right? Well, we're paying for it, literally. UK politics just makes me sad. They're so cooked. But who knows? Maybe they could win. I don't know, man. I gotta get Cool Hand James on here for that. I just watched that Woman in the Yard movie. Woman in the Yard movie. Weapons. Oh, a show. Who knew? Yeah. What's up, Friedrich Marx? Oh, dude, it was so funny because when I was watching a stream, I think it was like Matt Moss TV or whatever, and he was like live stream reacting to the peace talks, and there was a guy. Friedrich Merz. I think he was like the German chancellor, like the German president or whatever they're the equivalent of a president. And I was like, yo, Friedrich Marx? Question mark. British politics is so depressing. They're so yeah, I just read that. Yeah, man. We can only hope. We can only hope that things improve for those people. But on the topic of disingenuine behavior, on the topic of dishonesty and duplicity, in the creator sphere, if you will. It's the Women in the Yard. I don't know what that is, Brad. I have no idea what that is. I was watching this video from Owen Benjamin. Now, I'm not saying I thought this was interesting because I got into a scuff with I think it was you, Brad, about like Vito and Dick Masterson and yo, what's up, Ash Blackwind, Poonie D, brother, and about comments about little kids. Well, we're not going to talk about that right now. I saw this video. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up, and I'm going to react to it because I have some thoughts. About it. Did you hear about Austria and Sharia law they cooked? Oh, no, man, I didn't, bro. I'm not confirm or deny that I am the German or that German is my avatar or double. We'll see. Let's go ahead and get this video started. Where's my cursor at? There it is. Let me see. Do I have any dropped frames? No, everything's going good. I'm really glad my PC is still hanging on, even though I haven't turned it on in a while.
Make a claim. I'm going to hypothesize that he's at best dog whistling and getting support from pedophiles, and at worst, a pedophile. I can also show you how he got his listeners to get arrested at January 6th and then took the coward's way out.
Yeah, so Owen Benjamin's talking about Nick Fuentes, and I saw footage on here that I've never seen before. So I thought this was very interesting, and I have some thoughts, so we're going to get into it.
And at the end, I'm going to theorize who's funding him and why. And I'll give a little commentary at the end, but let's get right into it.
You are a gay man who exclusively surrounds himself with other young gay men, many of whom are openly pedophiles.
Based?
Jack sent $5.
And that's based.
With the name White.
I hear a lot that I don't get the joke, or that he's just joking and I don't get it, and I'm misrepresenting him. So that's just a start, all right? It's constant support of pedophilia. Now let's start off with a pledge that he got his listeners to take. And before you say it's just a joke, there's something that happens when you hold up your hand and you take a pledge. And if it was just an isolated incident and not all the rest I'm about to show you, I mean, maybe it's a joke, but just wait.
That, because you took the pledge. You took the loyalty pledge. I will kill, rape, and die for Nick Fuentes. Raise your right hand. All right, everybody, raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I will kill, rape, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes.
Okay, getting young guys to take a pledge to rape, murder, and kill, sketchy. You can't do it sarcastically. This next one, he appears to be inebriated.
Yeah, you're treading into some legal territory that's pretty fucking dark, and that's just not something that I'd want to do. And this is all new to me because, again, I don't watch Nick Fuentes. I've seen the clips. I've seen his tweets. Obviously, they go viral every now and then, or often, kind of. And my everything I've always said was like, well, it's kind of funny. You know, the things that he's saying is funny. Obviously, he's really well spoken, really well polished guy. Does a really good show, or entertaining show. But I wasn't aware of a lot of the stuff that's been going on here. And I mean, this is why I'm so adamant about the things that I say and the things that I expect from the people that are in my Discord and that view this content or in the comment section or in the chat. Don't ever advocate or promote or endorse violence of any sort. One, that's not in my heart. And two, I don't want that on my shit because I don't want to be responsible for it in any way. I don't want people to think I'm okay with it or endorse it in any way, shape, or form. And I know some of you guys really got on my case because of my proximity to Vito Gesualdi. And I know what Vito said. I I don't like what he said, and I called him really heinous names because of his behavior. But I've talked with Vito since, and he also did that stream where him and Dick Masterson were dogpiled, and he explained himself, and he hasn't really done it again. But I'm not down with any of this shit. I'm not okay with any of this shit. It's pretty hideous, and this gets worse and darker. And again, this is from somebody who doesn't view this content.
Created. But now he's talking more about what he demands from his listeners, and he wants to dox hillbillies. For those of you that don't know, hillbillies are rural white Americans. And I know for a fact he actually does this and attacks people. So it's not a joke, it's not sarcasm, because it's actually true.
As long as they are soldiers, look, I don't care how gay they are. As long as they're my loyal cult members that give me money and dox hillbillies when I give the command.
So I know some people are so sick of the establishment and the lies and the mainstream media that they're like, come on, perfect is the enemy of good. He's a Christian. Well, in this next clip, he's going to talk about he's sexualizing Mary and, again, pushing pedophilia.
When the Holy Spirit selected Mary, did the Holy Spirit go, let's look for a mature woman that I have something in common with? Did a person of the Trinity go around and say, I need to find one of those mature women that is smart and has common interests and things in common with me? Or did the Holy Spirit go and say, how old was the Virgin Mary? I think she was like, well, she wasn't 18, I'll say that much. Certainly wasn't 18. You know what I expect? A fertile womb. A fertile womb.
You're based Catholic, sir. I'm not a Catholic, but I would never disrespect the Virgin Mary. I would never disrespect the saints. I don't like the Pope, to hell with him, but I would never disrespect the faith, because I know that's really important to most people. And again, this is all new to me. I had no idea. It's really interesting to see the tide kind of turn against him, because we're seeing a lot of these types of videos. They're like, hey, this is what he's really about. And I'm like, whoa. Like there was a video that he recently, a clip that came out, and it was pushed by people like Owen Benjamin, where he was saying that he was actually in a call with one of his viewers, and he was saying that he was like a dumbass and that he's like a low IQ moron, and he's poor and broke or whatever because he's a contractor. The guy was a carpenter. He was a woodworker. And again, I've worked with a lot of these guys, and I've seen them do their work, and like these are hardworking people, and not only that, like their services aren't cheap. I can tell you personally and professionally, their work is not cheap. So for Nick Fuentes to come out and just disregard these people as like dumbasses and shit is pretty gross and disgusting. Again, I don't know, business 101. You don't insult your customers. You don't insult the viewers. I don't think I've ever done that to you guys, and I never will. And also, again, that's just not in my heart to insult people's profession, especially if they're working class. You know, and I guess I would consider myself kind of like elite, you know, in regards to my skill set and my education, because I am college educated. I have tons of credentials. You know, again, I had formal electrical training, formal electrical education. You know, I studied finance and accounting in college. So it's funny when people like to point at me like I'm some kind of jackass and like a fucking idiot. And I'm just like, dude, just look at my track record. You can look at my commentary and the things that I've predicted as an analyst, as a commentary guy. And I've been almost statistically like 100% correct. And all these morons cannot say the same. I also examine things as if I'm in a lecture hall, or I approach certain philosophical questions and debates as if I'm in a lecture hall, and I can engage in some pretty serious conversations. A lot of these people can't. They engage in these like stupid debate me bro tactics, and it's all lowbrow, low IQ, stupid shit. I don't think Nick is that. Nick is obviously highly intelligent. I don't know if he's college educated or not. He does this for a living, obviously. Well, let's just go ahead and continue.
And a sort of innocent, childlike spirit. All these people in the chat, dude, just stop. Shut up. Shut up. If you're, I'm banning people. If you're telling me to stop, you're gone. Bye. Fuck you. I'm out here free thinking, okay? And if I've got weird sexual interests, and if I'm dropping these red pills on you, you're gonna shut up and stop, dude, just stop. Why? What, am I scaring the hoes? Good. Fuck them hoes, okay? Okay? You want to go to the Correct Opinion show? Go watch TV. And you can watch all the correct opinions havers tell you about how they want same-aged wives, and they want to talk about their interests, and they want to do normal, not weird things. Okay? Abundant, plenty of 30-year-old fish in the sea for you guys, okay? Because I'm in the shallow end of the pool. Looking for them hoes that can't swim. Oh, about, Destiny's wife creeping on me.
Okay, if you're a Christian or Catholic, obviously that's not appropriate. I'm not pearl clutching at all. I'm just showing you what he says. And men that are protective of children, that hate pedophiles, and mothers really can't stand Nick Fuentes. And then he pretends that it's because everyone's envious of him, jealous of him, obsessed with him. But no, it's because people have an instinct to protect little kids, like really innocent kids. All right? And so you might say, that's just a joke, but you just don't get the joke. Well, this next one, he's going to go through the fantasy.
Yeah, and that's 100% correct too. Like I have a thing where it's like I don't talk about people's kids and shit. Like that's just not how I fucking roll. Destiny posted a picture with his son. I didn't know that was his son because he looked a little bit older because he had obviously more facial hair than me. And I made a comment. It was a crude comment, and someone's like, "Yo, that's his son." And I deleted the comment right away, and I'm like, "Yo, that's my bad. I had no idea that was his kid, and that was really foolish of me. And I would never do that or say that about anybody's kid." And I take it back. And then I got a little bit of a seal clap applause from the Twitterati, I guess. But no, I can't do that shit. So I get why people were upset with like people like Vito, but you got to extend that courtesy to people that you might agree with, like Nicholas J. Fuentes. You guys got to people got to be ideologically consistent. I know I am.
Of what he wants out of life and where he wants to live. And again, if you think this is just a joke, a lot of pedophiles don't think this is a joke, and he got their attention and their support, and I think that's why he constantly promotes pedophilia. And I'll tell you why at the end, and I'll tell you who's funding him, in my opinion.
A cat boy butler.
100%. That's the plan. The America First plan is we're going to, like, how TWP has their place. We're going to build a compound out in the western United States.
A kennel.
The compound and the kennel will be next door, and we'll have cat boys everywhere. They'll be serving steaks and ice cream and warm cookies and Burger King, and we'll be playing Fortnite, and nobody will grow old. And
okay, so that was indistinguishable from a Neverland Ranch or a Jimmy Savile thing, or he wants to live on an island with little boys who never get old, which implies that they die. And if you think I'm taking this too seriously, I'm not. I'm just showing you, and it is what it is. Now, you might say, but it's not real. Okay, well, here's Nick Fuentes on a date with a cat boy that poses nude online. His name's Catboy Cammy, and he's doing it.
That's this idea that's been brought into the zeitgeist, right? To stop men from making relationships because we're dangerous when we're together.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you give your friend a hug, oh, gay.
Yeah,
Oh, you go out.
friend on the list. Gay.
Oh, you have a shower with your friend, gay.
belly full. I'm energized. I'm charged up. I'm ready to go.
We're ready to rock. Let's rock. Let's rock and roll out of here.
You might say, well, he's right wing. At least he's fighting the left. The left are a bunch of pedos. Well, here is him talking to Destiny, who is a left wing commentator. And of course, what do they talk about? How great pedophilia is.
Okay.
Children.
Well, they're hotter. Based. Let's fucking go. That's why we love him. That's why we love this guy.
In this next clip, either he's gay, a pedophile, all the stuff that people think, or he's acting and pretending and aggressively flirting with pedophiles, okay? Like this flirty, like just what he's doing here is extremely creepy, and this isn't comedy. Like I know, as a comedian, it's just crazy to see people use that as a cover. It's kind of like when Jews use the Holocaust as a cover, or how like healthy professionals must view the Liver King when he's promoting the thing that they do, but in such a twisted, grotesque way. And that's why I feel like it's my obligation and my duty, and it's good for the world to just, as a professional comedian, lay it out for you. And you might say, well, you're not touring very much. Yeah, I was kicked out of all the clubs and theaters because I go against pedophilia, all right? That's literally true. Because people might say, but the shocking things you say, well, quote me, all right? The world caught up to me, and looking back, you'll see that I was always a good dude. And I wasn't, getting people to pledge loyalty to rape and kill. I wasn't promoting pedophilia. In fact, I was fighting against it. And I'm not just leading you on with this thing. Wait till the end. I'll tell you how I think the pedo networks work and who's funding them and why. Where all this money is coming from.
What, people calling me gay because I've never had a girlfriend? I think if anything, it makes me less gay. If anything, it makes me not gay. As opposed to less gay. Not that there's any gay, but it makes me not gay. Well, because think about it this way. You know, gay people do date girls all the time. And when I said on Elijah Schaefer's show, and they said, have you ever been in a romantic relationship? Have you ever had sex with a girl? And I said, no. If you name search me on Twitter, as I always do, all these gay people are coming out and saying, I've had more girlfriends.
Here's him openly admitting that he knows Ali Alexander is a pedophile and gay, and Elijah Schaefer is gay.
Is that Elijah Schaefer? No.
Yeah, I disavow the use of these slurs. It's not me saying them. Please don't ban me, YouTube.
So gay for me. Sit back. Holy, what are you drinking? A minute ago. What's going on here? I mean, Ali was out here. I was like, oh, short. I was like, oh, Ali's a pedo, right? And he's like, what's somebody say that? I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
are you serious?
How do people not know?
And he's like, oh, I work for InfoWars, so I don't really do with that. That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, Ali Alexander's that guy who looks like Sammy Davis Jr., but like more hideous and lacks any sort of talent. Yeah, dude, that guy was like exposed by James Allsup as being like this degenerate criminal, among other things. And him and a couple of people that I think that were from out here in Vegas, I met them before, and ran into them during the Stop the Steal era when we were trying really, really hard to stop the steal. They embedded themselves close to candidate Adam Laxalt, who abandoned President Trump, and he became a DeSantis bro, for better or for worse. And yeah, I mean, you know, the guy, you know, these people were trying to co-opt this movement to demand election integrity, which is kind of my baby. It's again somebody who's worked in politics, who's worked for massive, very large election departments, you know, understands the inner workings of these systems better than most people. And just to hear these fucking shysters say and do the things that they do, like, this is all a joke to them. And let's just be real. Like, I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, these guys don't move the needle at all. Politically speaking, maybe culturally to like a degree, maybe. But the majority of the population doesn't really know these guys. And when they find out about them, you know, like Owen Benjamin said, like, parents don't want their fucking kids watching this shit. And you know, being around these guys or interacting with them, especially when they're saying shit like, you know, saying nasty things about the Virgin Mary, saying inappropriate comments about, you know, little kids in the shallow end, yada, yada, yada. And like, I can't be associating with shit like that, in any capacity, because I do like the whole point of like my YouTube channel was like to just kind of help people initially, you know, like I was uploading these like tutorial videos, these little tech videos, these tool videos, because like I wanted to help people. I want to help people understand the tools that they're buying, understand how to fix or troubleshoot some tech issue or whatever the case may be. Like I'm not interested in any of this discussing degenerate bullshit. I obviously don't joke about any of this stuff. I have over 150 or 140 episodes of these streams, and I've never said anything like that. It's not funny to me. You know, there's little kids in my life, and I don't want them to. One, I don't think those things or say those things, but I would fucking hate for them to see me as somebody like a Nick Fuentes, or like a Destiny, or like a Vito Giswaldi, or any of these fucking guys that make these comments, these childless dudes who make comments about little fucking kids. And you know, again, like if we're gonna have this standard, we gotta hold it towards everybody. People don't like it that I brought up the James Gunn shit. Somebody who's, you know, one of the key figures in the anti-consume movement. You know, it's not a good thing to consume cape shit. A lot of these people, like Bryan Singer, James Gunn, etc., these guys are fucking degenerates, and they make comments about touching little fucking kids. And it's not funny, man. You know, like, you can't go all fucking autistic about Pizzagate and demons and the fucking Hillary Clinton emails, and Epstein, and then be fucking cool with what people like Harvey Weinstein, James Gunn, and Bryan Singer, etc. get up to, just because you enjoy cape shit. Like that's just not how it works. Or just because Nick Fuentes says some base shit sometimes. Like, this can't be acceptable. This should be career ending. Like, it really should. And especially since, like, with my Etsy shop, like my vision, my goal is to have families print out my patterns and build really cool shit with my designs using my tutorials. And I don't want to be associated with any of this shit. at all.
You said what? Owen Schroyer was giving me the bullshit. Oh, I don't really know about Ali. I just put InfoWars. That's my job.
Oh, were you asking about like?
Well, Ali hit.
Who is Schaefer? Elijah Schaefer was a guy who worked at the Blaze, and he got fired for being a fucking sex pest, I think. I could be wrong about that, but he apparently groped some women. He was at the heart of the Sidney Watson lawsuit. He's kind of fruity. I used to say nice things about Elijah Schaefer, just because like I thought he was kind of brave, because he would go out there pretty much in these war zones on U.S. soil and capture some really, really insane footage. He was there when Kyle Rittenhouse, was defending himself from those violent Antifa thugs. Personality flaws and stuff aside, I thought he was okay, but apparently he's not on the level. He's not on the level, and he also blocked me, so fuck him.
No, me hard.
Oh.
It was like, asked me how tall I was, alcohol I drank. He was like, hey, if you want to come do chores for me, let me know.
Oh, bro.
So remember that Fuentes knew about Ali Alexander for a later clip I'm going to show you, after it's revealed and exposed that Ali Alexander is one of his right-hand guys, was getting underage nudes from his male listeners. This is why I warn people about Fuentes all the time. Who is Ali Alexander? Well, according to him, he's the one who orchestrated January 6th.
I was the person who came up with the January 6th idea with Congressman Gosar, Congressman Mo Brooks, and then Congressman Andy Biggs. We schemed up of putting maximum pressure on Congress while they were voting so that who we couldn't lobby, we could change the hearts and the minds of Republicans who were in that body, hearing our loud war from outside.
And remember January 6th, we'll get back to that. So Ali Alexander, who's a high-ranking Groyper in this army, was caught, and I believe he was arrested and charged with soliciting pornographic material from a minor. And everyone knew it. Nick knew it. He laughed about it. He thought it was funny. Here is Nick explaining himself.
A massive movement politically to take over the country. And that involves a great deal of associations. And sometimes they're not all good. It's as simple as that. If you have a problem with that, well, you try to build something. That's what I would say. Our countries and movements and things are going to be ground to pieces because of bad faith attacks over sexual impropriety. If we're talking about rape and murder and things like that, okay. But when we're talking about flirting, give me a fucking break. Honestly. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't fucking do that, dude. That is never acceptable. And again, it's not like, oh, it happened on accident. Look, I've been on the internet for a long time. I'm a fucking 30-year-old. There's no reason for little kids to be talking to me. And if I'm talking to little kids, that's fucking sus, guys. That's fucking sus. It shouldn't be happening at all. No. And it just sucks because a lot of the, as the world becomes more detached from reality, from the flesh, and the youngsters move more towards spending time in the digital space, guys like Fuentes, Elijah Schaefer, Vito, etc., they have access to these young kids, and they tell them shit. They flirt with them, as he states, and none of that is acceptable. That shouldn't be happening at all. And it's even worse when, like, I'm not going to name anybody specifically, but when, like, these Twitch gamers who have a large following on twitch.tv, none of these dudes ever got fucked in high school. They never had a girlfriend. They never held a chick's hand. They didn't do any of that stuff. And now all of a sudden they have access to, these young girls, these kids, and they start forming these so-called relationships with them. They're these so-called friendships with them, and they start going into a dark place, and it's not acceptable. Don't do this give me a break shit. I'm not buying it, bro.
I know that's not a good look, whatever, but that's how I feel about it, to tell you the truth. That's going to be, they think that's a silver bullet. Well, but this guy flirted with people who were 15. Yeah, and that's gross. That's fucking gross. I think anybody would say it's gross. It's gross because it's gay. It's gross because it goes against the age. But this is some great moral condemnation. Yeah.
Touching your nose about there, Fuentes. And also bear in mind the language he's using is still showing his supporters that he's cool with pedophilia. He's saying the age thing. He's just saying little phrases that lets people know that he's cool. Now, why do people say Nick Fuentes is a Fed? Well, January 6th, that's been described as a peaceful protest, wasn't really a peaceful protest. Here's Nick Fuentes organizing a mob of people to commit violent acts in public. This is what you're going to see right here is literally a crime.
Moving towards the Capitol, it appears we are taking the Capitol. We march it and never relent. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. We should live in fear of the American people betrayed over and over.
And you might say he's passionate. I mean, who are you, working for the Dems, Owen? Like, what's wrong with you? Have some backbone. Well, a lot of his listeners got arrested, and I'm no hypocrite. When that was going down, and the days prior, I was telling everyone not to go, and as it was being broadcast, I was yelling during a live stream, being like, how can you people have fallen for this? Okay, these are Pied Pipers. They honeypot people, and then they get them arrested, and then they demonize a group, okay? So if you think it's because he just cared so much, check out his response once a lot of his listeners went to prison for years, and their lives were ruined.
A lot of the leaders didn't go down, but a lot of the useful idiots that went in, they did go down. And some people may say, well, what about you? Nobody that was with me went in the building because I had the good sense to say, whoa, that's a bad idea. So just like I said on January 6th to the people, and everybody says, well, you told them to go in. That's rhetoric. I said, oh, we're in the we're on the Capitol lawn. We took control of the city. Blah blah blah. But the people that were nobody that was with me went in. Everybody says you told them to go in. Really?
Dude, this is fucking insane. I just discovered this like a few days ago, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta stream. I gotta talk about this.
It appears we are taking the Capitol. We march it, and don't relax, never relax. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. We should live in fear of the American people betrayed over and over.
Unauthorized has been the platform from payment processors at least 4 times. We've had to revert to, direct bank transfers for $5 a month. And even at that price, I can make a living and we can pay all of our bills. Because it's true, a lot of these, like streaming yourself, having your own websites, it does cost a lot of money. Ladle.tv, all this stuff that we do, because you're not the product. People like Nick Fuentes, you're the product. People would never pay to listen to him. It's an illusion to get you to do something and for social engineering. And if you don't believe me, listen to what he has to say about Cozy TV.
Out the Rumble now. Cozy just costs me money at this point, okay? Cozy just costs me thousands of dollars every month as just like ban insurance. It's like, whenever people talk about Cozy, I'm like, shut up. So, I mean, Cozy served us well. But now it's just costing me a lot of money. I'll be using it a lot more if I ever get banned, but it's like, bro.
Okay, so in conclusion, and thanks for sticking with me, I can get so many more videos. That's nothing. And the amount of slander he's done about me and how he's...
Yeah, hold on, let me respond to some of these comments here. Let's see. I forgot who Benjamin Owen was, but I remember people ragged on him for something. Yeah, I mean, he's not perfect and he's kind of an asshole, but he's not wrong. Owen's biggest crime was drinking terps and burning his kids' dino books. Yeah, I think he's he's on the bandwagon. The dinosaurs are fake. Yeah, don't listen to Nick. Remember Baked Alaska? Yeah, fuck Baked Alaska. He's a bitch. That police song was hilarious though. There were some things that Baked Alaska did that were hilarious, but I mean, the guy is obviously sus. We told you he did that, Joe. Well, I didn't say that you guys were liars. At least I don't remember saying that I didn't believe you. It's just I didn't see it for myself. And while obviously Nick is incredibly flawed, I just, again, I'm not about smearing or maligning somebody, especially if I don't know. And you got to be careful these days because you don't want to end up in like some kind of flame war that like Ethan Klein and Hassan Piker and Destiny and Pisco are in. I mean, dude, like people are being sued and they're saying like heinous things about Ethan Klein's wife. Again, I don't like these people. I think they all suck. But again, people are being sued. I'm not interested in being sued. Stuttering John is suing like one of the guys from Who Are These Pod and some other dude. And I met one of those dudes as well. He's suing him for, I guess, saying something that isn't true about. I don't know. I'm not about slandering somebody or libeling them or anything like that because I'm not interested in a lawsuit. I'm not interested in the fucking beef. I don't want the smoke. But I'm showing you guys receipts. I'm showing you guys, the boy in his own words. And what's really troubling about this whole affair was how unnecessary January 6th was. Congress and the Senate have already committed to disputing the certification of the election. There was no need to so-called storm the Capitol. There was no need to do any of that. And that's certainly not what President Trump instructed people to do. That's a hoax. It's obviously a lie. Because they were doing that anyways. The Congress and the Senate, they were going to reject the certification of the election, and the states were going to go ahead and pick the president of the United States because they couldn't certify a phony bullshit election, which everybody knows is bullshit. Matt Brainard, myself, and a bunch of other people have come forth with tangible, concrete evidence that the 2020 election was fucking bullshit and it was 100% rigged. Rigged in the sense that they fucking cheated the way that people cheat in video games. Like, it's all bullshit. There was no need to do that. So after they disrupted the debate about the certification of the election, and they disrupted hearing and seeing the tangible, concrete evidence that the election was rigged before the world, these fucking jackasses, under the command or under instruction or under the influence of people like Ray Epps, or maybe, possibly, people like Nick Fuentes. I know he disputed it, but again, we all saw what we just saw. They went in there and they caused problems and they disrupted this process. And we needed the world needed to see what the Democrats were up to during the 2020 election. People were tortured in a DC prison. People ended their own lives. This isn't a fucking joke. And he obviously doesn't give a fuck about, and he calls them useful idiots. Maybe they are idiots for listening to guys like you, for believing in people like you. You misled them. You fucked them over. And the president and the country. They destroyed everything. The destruction done after 2020 was almost irreversible. It is a miracle that President Trump is in office right now. Let's wrap this video up.
Like the things he says, I always bring this out in pedos because they know I can see them. They know I know their strategy, and they know I hate them. All right. I didn't have issues with Hollywood because I hate Jews. I hate pedophiles. And I remember I was just listing names like, Bryan Singer and blah, blah, blah. And people like, that's anti-Semitism. I hadn't even put that together at like 37 years old. All right. For me, that was a liability shield, just like how Fuentes uses comedy. Oh, he's just joking as people rot in jail. And this is just what he's saying. If you look at Groyper accounts and their connection to pedophilia, the lolly porn nonsense, the trans porn, all of it, it's horrifying. All right. So if you want him to represent you and that this is great for the youth, it's not. So who do I think's funding him? Do I think he's a Fed? No, maybe he worked out a deal with the January 6th thing, but I think what people don't realize, well, now they're starting to realize this with the Epstein revelations and all this, that there are a lot of very, very rich people that rape kids. And a lot of them kill the kids, and they're really sick, twisted people. And that's like a whole culture. But the one thing they don't have is acceptance. Okay, I was just talking to Vox about this today on the stream, where it's like, whether it's Carthage or some of these old places, once they get out in the open, where they're openly doing it, that's usually when society breaks them. All right, because mothers, men, like actual men, hate pedophiles. And there's no amount of money that you can buy that. And they want to be open about it so bad. And so they will spend any amount of money to get people to kind of see it from their point of view. Because if you think about it, the ultimate oppressed group is pedophiles. Even more than murderers. Like murderers and rapists will kill pedos in prison. So if you look at a group that society just hates, like the way people pretend that everyone hates like blacks or gays or something, it's like everyone hates pedophiles. And so imagine if you're like a super rich, successful pedophile and you're looking out at the world and you want to be open about who you are. It's kind of like how gay people were in the 60s, where they were hated. And then there's these movements, and then they're accepted and normalized, and then look what happens. The next wave, the next thing that's trying right now is pedophilia. And so they desperately want the right wing and the Christians to like have these ideas sink into their heads. And they pay Nick Fuentes a lot of money, and they promote him and they prop him up. And his job is to attack any real family man or real voice that could go against pedophilia. Because pedophilia, the only way it works is isolation, gaslighting, and dependency.
Yeah, we're going to stop it there because I'm noticing right now that during the 2024 election, Nicholas J. Fuentes counter-signaled MAGA, and he tried to rally his troops to assist Kamala Harris winning the election. And right now, him and the so-called Groypers, they are rallying behind Fuentes and propping up somebody like Gavin Newsom. And the Democrats are also doing this as well. They're utilizing racism. I hate to sound like a woke tard talking like this, but I mean, there's just no other way to put it. They're utilizing racism to help prop up Gavin Newsom right now. So that's the thing, which is kind of weird because the 2028 election is so far from now. But again, I can't help but notice things as a watchfrog. They'll put up two pictures of J.D. Vance and his family and Gavin Newsom and his family. And Gavin Newsom has an all-white family, obviously, and J.D. Vance is married to an Indian woman, Usha Vance, I believe is her name, and he has little half-white, half-brown kids. And, people are saying really fucking heinous shit about that, and it really is the activity of a fucking loser to attack a man and his kids in that way, regardless of what you think of race mixing or whatever. Again, I'm not really interested in getting into that discussion. It boils down to personal preference. I genuinely believe that J.D. Vance loves his wife, and he met her at a very interesting time in his life. And J.D. Vance is our boy, in my opinion. J.D. Vance knows how to move the needle. Nicholas J. Fuentes cannot. I've moved the needle. In 2016, it was guys like me who memed President Trump into the White House. Nicholas J. Fuentes tried to get Kamala Harris to win in the Rust Belt, and he failed. He's not going to move the needle. And I'm telling you guys right now, you can bet really good money that Gavin Newsom is not going to win. Doesn't matter who the opponent is in 2028 in the general election. Gavin Newsom would never be the president. For the same reason Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis will never be president. They just don't have what it takes. The Sun Belt is not the Rust Belt. The Southwest is not the Rust Belt. The electorate is just not. It just doesn't work. But they're propping it up, and they're using, they're like, oh, well, look at this trad-based white family versus J.D. Vance, this fat guy with his, mud kids. They're saying all this hateful shit. And it really is just loser fucking nonsense to engage in that kind of behavior and say those kind of things openly. I don't want any part of any of that. Again, I'm just not interested in doing that. It's pretty gross. And again, I like JD Vance. I think he's the real deal. I really do. And I noticed that it messes with my mind because the majority of the Groypers appear to be brown, and they obviously have an issue with brown people. So they're attacking JD Vance's brown family. And it's just kind of puzzling to me. And it seems like the ideas don't even matter. It's just like, well, if they're brown, we're going to turn it down. But Gavin Newsom is the one that, he's basically identical to Joe Biden, but he's coherent. The whole, my Jason Bateman memeing bullshit. I just don't think it's going to work. It comes off as incredibly cringe and astroturfed, and I just don't see it working, you guys. I don't know is he a psyop? I don't know. Is he a Fed? I don't know. But he's become quite untrustworthy based off of the things that I've seen. And I don't really like the stuff regarding kids. I don't like what he said about tradesmen. Those are my people. I'm a working class guy. I was born a working class guy. I'm probably going to die a working class guy. And Ali Alexander did the same shit too, and I talked about it. I think I did an independent video about that guy. He called these proper white boys. He called them hillbillies using racial bigoted slurs. This fucking Sammy Davis Jr. looking motherfucker, saying bigoted slurs towards these white boys. And no, man, elements of the so-called alt-right or whatever the hell you want to call it, they have complete and total animus towards working class rural Americans. Tradesmen, man's men, or as Owen Benjamin said, genuine family men, and they want to tear them apart and tear them to pieces. They want to dox them and all this crazy shit. And dude, no, I have nothing to do with it. I never did, and I never will. Now more than ever. I'm just letting you guys know. Let me read some of these comments. Let's see. What if Gavin Newsom shot lightning out of his fingers and sacrificed George Bush live on CNN? I would still never vote for him. Let me see. Let me scroll up here. What did Nick say this time? What didn't he say? Did this dude say that Nick can champion pedophiles as a concept? I think so, yeah. JD's wife is mid, pretty lady. Again, it's all about personal preferences. I think she is pretty. I think she's a proper woman. She's a decent woman. I think she's a good mother. And that's all I really have to say about her. I'm proud of JD Vance as a man. Let's see. The pedos will never be accepted. The victims of pedos will always want to turn them into meat slush. Yeah, and it's really sickening that elements of the right are kind of somewhat normalizing it. And again, if you see the video while watching this video together, it's pretty damning. Let me see what else. Browns are not people. Disavow. The book I read on this in the mid 2000s from 1997 by an Australian pedo mapped this all out. Only parts wrong in the book so far are the timeline. JD is extremely untrustworthy because of his connections to Yale. I don't know, bro. I don't think that's fair. Darn, the force is strong with this one. All right, let's finish this up.
People dependent, where they think the money's coming. They can't do anything on their own. They have no skills. They're afraid. They feel alone. They feel like no one would believe them. They feel isolated, and that's the only way you can exploit kids on that level. Now look at what I'm doing, where it's all about family, community, honesty, comedy, building skills, building morale, not getting people arrested and felonies on the right. That's why they hate me. And I don't care what they have. There's nothing they can offer me. They know I don't take money. They know I don't get spooked. Because
this is why I like Owen Benjamin. I mean, Owen Benjamin has said some stuff that I disagree with, but as a man, I kind of respect him, and as a human being, I respect him, and his core ethos, if he's being truthful, I mean, that's my ethos. It's just I show real world skills, You know, you'll learn shit if you watch some of my videos. You know, hopefully I enlighten people when you watch me on my streams as a public intellectual. Like, I hope I lead people towards the light, if you will. I don't advocate for or promote violence. I don't push shit that I don't believe on people. The things that I sell, I built with my own hands. You know, the things that I provide as service-wise to people, like it's tangible, it's real. You know, you want me to build you a firearm, I will build it for you, and it will work. You know, it'll always work. All my firearms work. I mean, that's kind of my motto. They'll work. It just works. You know, the puppets. You know, you're building and you're using practical skills to build something that is so cool and magical and awesome, and it'll just bring a lot of love and joy into people's lives. And I think that's important. You know, what utility does somebody like Elijah Schaefer have? You know, like what does Nicholas J. Fuentes bring to the table other than, you know, some laughs every now and then? And then and now and even worse is like this weird promotion of this unholy alliance with violent Islamists and other dorks like the Tate Bros and the Fresh and Fraud group. Like, nah, I'm not into it. Dude, somebody messaged me, a lawyer messaged me, somebody that I'm friends with. He messaged me and he was going to go on a podcast. I don't want to say which one, but he thought, well, fuck. He thought I was one of the Fresh and Fit guys. And I'm like, no, you got the wrong dude. Fuck, man. Let's see. JD is pretty sus to me. I've also heard he was anti-Trump before. Yeah, dude, a lot of people, like, look, he was anti-Trump. He said a lot of stupid shit about President Trump. But like, I see his background, I see where he came from, and the dude is really similar to me. He's, you know, like he's like 5 or 6 years older than me. You know, he's a millennial, and he came around, man. And he was one of the most representative senators, in the last 10 years, in my opinion. And it was a tragedy that he ended up becoming the vice president, not because he wouldn't be a good one, because I think he has been a good one, but because he was so important in the state of Ohio. Because he knocked out a Senate candidate, a Democrat, who was going to be like the white Obama. He was going to be like a George, not George, like a Bill Clinton type figure. I was going to say George Clinton. That's a funk group. But yeah, and I think it was like Tim Ryan. I forget the guy's name. But yeah, like the guy was a big deal. And the fact that JD Vance knocked him out, and Trump knew that JD Vance was kind of a shit talker and said a lot of unflattering things about Trump. But the initiation was during the primary physical endorsement when Trump and JD Vance were sharing that stage. Trump goofed on him, and that was a test. Okay, Trump goofed on him really, really hard. He roasted him, and he took it like a man. He took the punches, and he ended up delivering on his promises to represent the people of Ohio, to represent the new MAGA coalition, if you will. And after the failed assassination attempt, thank God it failed, it was pretty obvious he was going to have to pick a very, very important vice presidential candidate. And if I was advising President Trump, JD Vance would have been the first name out of my mouth. Again, as a strategist, somebody who's worked in politics, that's who I would have picked. And I think he's come around. I think he's been a reliable ally. I know people don't really like the Palantir shit. You know, people don't really like a lot of his connections with Silicon Valley and stuff, and all the venture capitalist bro shit. But, you know, he went to Yale. You make those connections, and it doesn't appear that they've influenced his political his political ethos, if you will. So I think that's good. And to be honest, we need those tech guys on our side. If those tech guys are on our side, they're not going to censor us. So, you know, whatever, man, I'll take it. We need someone more right-wing than Trump, to be honest. Pale Rider, I don't disagree with you. But right now, he's the best we got. Took it like a man. Slave role. Sounds about right for the Republicans. Openly closet. Shut up, Friedrich Marx. Shut your goddamn mouth. All right, well, we got to move on, man. I just thought this was really interesting. Just kind of give you, you know, just talking about duplicity in my personal life with all the trade dudes I've been working with, and the projects that I've been working with, and the remodels, and then, of course, talking about this. But we got to get into more lighthearted stuff, because I don't really have anything political lined up. It was really just that. Oh, yeah, I talked about Ukraine for a second. I thought this was kind of funny. So Cenk Uygur, failed congressional candidate and the host of the Young Turks, named after the Muslim group that committed the genocide against the beautiful Armenian people, which he denied happened as an adult, but he's come around to it since he ran for Congress. Fuck him. I'm torn on Ukraine. On one hand, Trump has made a mess of the negotiations, false, and Putin treats him like a beta. And the idea of taking Putin's suggestions for what to do with our voting system is ludicrous, but I like that he's at least trying to get to peace. I don't know what he's on about. He's full of shit. So I'm just going to read my response. It's always so gross and offensive when woke, far leftist douchebags co-opt the red pill manosphere / date guru lingo and use words like beta to insult others, especially coming from a fat turd like Cenk Uygur, who tried desperately to fuck white women and was resoundingly rejected by all of them, so he called them whores in training. Couldn't even seal the deal, yet insists Trump is a beta who couldn't even pay supermodels to fuck off because they fell in love with him. You got outplayed by Christine Smith, who's a total babe, by the way. Oh, I said baby? Fuck, I meant to say babe. In a debate in your failed run for Congress, you went in there thinking you were tough shit, but she revealed to the state of California what a beta-ass chump you are. Sit down, you fraud. Fuck Cenk Uygur. All this is false. And no, I think President Trump just kind of brought it up, if I remember correctly, that the mail-in voting system is bullshit. All these people are just, again, none of these people have ever done any real, negotiations. They've never had to sit there and have a really difficult conversation to get the desired outcome that you want. Now, I've been having to do a lot of negotiating myself. I actually had to do some this morning, and it went in my favor. But you got to give a little, you got to take a little, okay? And you can't go in there swinging your fist. I mean, this is what's so offensive about the left, because they talk as if they're an authority on any of these topics, and they're not. Because they're a bunch of fucking drug addict children who've never been in these situations at any point in time. They've never done this before. So they think Trump needs to go in there and just whip his cock out and just start smacking, Putin in the face and let him know who's boss. No, that's not how you end a fucking war, you jackasses. Especially when Russia is winning the war. Unbelievable. And then Cenk Uygur, fake tough guy, who's still stuck in his glory days of high school. He's like, yeah, I was a football player. Okay, maybe you were, but you're fat as shit and you think you can beat up Joe Rogan. No, dude, you're a fucking joke, bro. You're a fucking goofball. And stop co-opting the lingo of the red pill, of the manosphere, because it doesn't suit you guys. You guys come off as frauds when you speak like us. Fuck, I don't even use the word beta. I don't really like to. Only ironically. It's pretty funny. We need Mustache Men 2.0. Disavow. God damn it, you guys, stop it. I thank you for not saying I am wrong. I shall close my mouth about the openly homosexual party, unlike Lindsey Graham on McCain's PP. For no reason, you're joking. I am joking. Let's see. So extreme left-wing group. If you think the painter is a right-wing, then you are a silly sausage. The best solution is a third term, if it's even possible, because let's face it, it's very likely the next president is going to want to ruin what Trump had accomplished, since his enemies are everywhere. Yeah, man. Dude, at first I was kind of against it, because, I'm not looking forward to civil unrest, but dude, we might need Trump for a third term, bros. Dude, we just he has so much work to do, but he's accomplished a lot. And again, if I wasn't satisfied with the trajectory of the current administration, I would let you guys know. But I am happy about it. I think it's going really great. 22nd Amendment is crap. Thanks, FDR. You call me bastard. Hope you enjoy hell. Yeah, he is in hell. Fuck him. Hello, man. Yo, what's up, Mitigate 22 or 212? Russia is winning the war. Mr. Fake News. The MSM said Ukraine has been winning. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they're totally winning. Yeah, all those videos where some random Ukrainian truck driver, he's in his little, beat up old school Ford truck, and he's towing a tank because the Russian tank operators are incompetent jackasses. They're just towing it away, and they're just scrapping the metal and selling it online. LFDR commie, Yanks are broken brain people. He was a communist. That's not false. All right, so I think we're done with the politics stuff. So we got to get into the pop culture. So what is this shit? What is this? It's only 37 seconds long. We got an old, wrinkly lady. Let's see what she has to say. It's probably going to be something stupid.
Oh, let them build a white-only community in Arkansas. They'll find out. They'll find out how bored they are. I mean, without Mexican, indigenous, black, Asian influences, what are they even doing? Like just eating mayonnaise and listening to country music, I guess?
Yeah, well, the country music is terrible, I guess, but whatever.
Like, I'd be really worried about the kids in that community, though, right? Like, they're going to become the entertainment in an evil sort of way. But other than that, just let them have their experiment. They'll find out.
Oh, wow. The racism is real, I guess. Yeah, how dare these people want to be left alone? It's like, oh, dude, aren't you... Oh, you white people in your safe communities with like-minded individuals with a common goal and shared ancestry, you're going to be so bored that your houses aren't getting shot, that people aren't dealing drugs to your kids while they're in school, that your daughters aren't being fucking groomed and trafficked. God, you're going to be so bored. Shut up, you fucking boomer-ass bitch. Fuck you. Let's see, what is this shit?
About dude that hasn't been... What can I say about dude that hasn't been said? I think we all know, people know that shit's foul and we have to address it some kind of way, you know? I'm just talking about the whole situation. We already know I don't give a fuck about that clown-ass motherfucker. I think what's more scary than him is his followers. I think the people that follow him blindly have a way of brushing off all that he does. And the things he does, if any normal person did one of those things, they'd be out of here.
Dude, why aren't you out of here, you fuckhead? Dude, Ice-T is a fucking criminal. Like, he's a legit criminal. This dude, sex trafficking, promoted violence, celebrated statute of limitations so he can't be incarcerated for felonies that he's committed and shit. Like, who the fuck are you to say that I'm a bad guy? Dude, this is what I'm so fucking tired of the Discord. This is why I'm so fucking sick of this discourse on the internet and all these fucking slanders and lies and just blood libel against me and my people. You know, suggesting that we're like hostile and dangerous and all this shit. Dude, you're a legit fucking violent criminal. One of the worst criminals imaginable. You're lucky they allow you on TV. Fuck this guy. Yeah, there's nothing these people say is credible. None of these people are credible. None of these people have any room to talk shit and to besmirch people like myself. I mean, I'd rather be in a room full of maggots than people like fucking Ice-T. Again, career criminal, violent criminal. He's a little too old for that shit now. All right, so this went viral, over 1 million views. Hold on, let me read some of these comments before we move on. I want to follow Ice-T to his disavow. Repealing 19th. The whores are stupid. Ice-T never trafficked anyone. I support T over Trump. The man who sold his daughter. Disavow. Pro-black people are too comfy. Talking shit about illegals getting deported. They're lucky that they have pet status. I'm not gonna address that. Yeah, though, dude. It's not gonna last because the Latinx people, they're clicking up, dude. They're gonna click up with the whites, and the Latinx demographic. They flexed their political muscle in the 2024 election, and they outvoted the African American demographic. So you're not gonna see, in my opinion, you're gonna see less pandering to people like Ice-T, and more, not pandering per se, but more political rhetoric aimed at traditional values, if you will, sensible policies, if you will. None of this crazy, we need to give $6 quadrillion to every person who was a descendant of a slave, even though the people who are going to be paying for it had nothing to do with slavery. None of that shit. Whites plus off-whites, as we call them at work, will merge. No, they will, Friedrich Marx. They absolutely will. The Latinas, and the whites they're going to click up. Like, it's going to happen. Again, the almost the majority of them voted. They broke for Trump, and they voted in numbers that we've never ever seen ever. Again, it was an electoral victory, and it was largely due to this demographic because Trump ended up getting these votes in the cities. He wasn't afraid to go to the big cities and get their votes, and people wanted to blame the Kill Tony guy, Tony Hinchcliffe, for making that comment about Puerto Rico, and it just didn't move the needle at all. Well, they should be scared of us. Every 100 years, they forget white people are very nice until we are not. That is true, Pell Rider. They're gonna fuck around and find out. But back to the pop culture. This video went viral, and it really, really triggered me, Because, well, I'll explain in a second. So this is about a minute long. So this Battlefield 6 beta came out. People have been playing it, and the game is going to be released soon, maybe.
That was so long ago.
All right, where's the... Here, let me zoom in really quick.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so this guy is blatantly cheating. In my opinion, in my professional opinion as an ex-hacker, this guy is 100% cheating.
What the fuck? That was nuts!
Yeah, right there. Okay, let me go ahead and zoom back. Look at this. Look at this shit. So he shoots at this guy, and then he's going to snap to another individual. He's going to snap to another individual, even though that individual is out of sight. Look at this. See that right there. He snapped to him. He's not shooting at an individual. He's shooting at rocks. He snapped to a player, and you didn't see him at all. And they're trying to pretend that he's just really good. He just practices a lot. No. This motherfucker is clearly cheating. Look at this. You motherfucker. And again, we're just going to stop there. I don't want to play this whole video because he just does this throughout the whole video. He's just blatantly hacking.
Wow, I flicked straight at that guy
cheating.
through the wall. Oopsie.
Yeah, yeah, whoopsie. Yeah, because you got caught, bro. So here's my comment. I ended up leaving a comment. Hey, gang, I'm going to admit something that's insanely embarrassing, but I used to be a hacker when playing Rainbow Six Siege before they implemented anti-cheat because every game, literally, every game had about 4 to 5 hackers. Sometimes everyone was hacking. I know how these hacks work. It's essentially an overlay over your screen that won't be picked up by OBS or any other streaming software, but you can see it. You can clearly see this guy is snapping to enemies before even knowing or hearing that they're there. He's blatantly cheating, in my opinion, in a video game. The only way that this might not be cheating is if he's using a controller and there's auto aim assist. But even then, you clearly see this motherfucker aiming through walls. I play PUBG with my boys. We can easily tell when someone is hacking. This isn't rocket science, dude. So yeah, this tweet of mine was looked at favorably. And, like, they were trying to insult my intelligence. And they're like, you don't understand. There's this thing called the AIM community. And the AIM community is coming out. And they are supporting this dude, Riley. Look, I've been gaming since the 90s. Okay, when I was a tiny baby, when I was a tiny child in the 90s. And I got a hold of a PC. And I was playing PC games. I've been playing ever since. I'm a huge gamer. Granted, there was a few years where I stopped playing, because I had other things going on, but I was always a gamer. And never, ever in my life have I ever fucking heard of the AIM community. There's no such thing as an AIM community. I don't know. So this individual, this dude here, this boy, was banned off of Twitch because I think it's in the violation of the TOS to play a video game while you're hacking. But because of their special rainbow status, this Catboy rainbow status, they were unbanned, and they are treating us like they're totally gaslighting us, and it drives me fucking crazy. One thing I don't like is being lied to. Okay, watching this was like watching the 2020 results, the general election results. Totally rigged, totally cheating, clearly on display. Clearly on display. And I don't like it. And the discourse around it is just, again, tons of fakeness. Tons of fakeness. Don't fall for it, you guys. Clearly cheater. Cheat at games is Elon scam bad. Imagine caring enough to cheat and not just getting good. Sorry, Gio, for saying controversial shit. It's okay, Pill Rider. I will do my best not to be an ass. Thank you, Pill Rider. I appreciate you. This is unacceptable, man. This is unacceptable. Let me see if there's any other interesting comments here. For the most part, most people are... Oh, yeah, right here. The great Twitter AIM revolution. People are discovering Fire ISTG. I don't know what Fire ISTG is. And no, they're not cheating. Yes, they are. You're just mediocre and ignorant. This is a community which dedicates their all towards improvement instead of crying. Okay. Whatever you say, bro. The amount of droids who can't comprehend mouse flicking. No, they're cheating, dudes. They're cheating. I again, there's plenty of professional gamers out there that do stream on Twitch, and like we know what it looks like to be good. We know what it looks like to be a pro, and I know what it looks like to fucking cheat because I used to do it. Not proud of it, but I know how it works. First rule of the watchfrogs is never say sorry to Gio unless it's sarcastic or a joke. Fuck you, Friedrich Marx. Don't you influence the chat. Don't listen to him. Disregard that comment. Well, double down and say a slur. No, disavow. Only if you call him a slur. God damn it. All right. N Towers in the chat. Incoming. Disavow it. Totally. Oh, God. What else do we got here? Let's rapid fire through this. What is this? To achieving Mr. Beast went viral for giving Africans a bunch of water. I don't have anything funny to say about it, so we're just going to move on. Fido get fat. Ozempic for dogs could hit the market in 3 years. Holy shit, guys. First off, fat dogs isn't really a problem. And I just thought it was interesting. I don't know where I read this at. I don't remember where I read it from. But apparently, back in the day when the modern left was trying to normalize obesity and fatness and all this shit, they're like, it's genetic. It's genetic. Or like depression, it's genetic. It's a chemical imbalance. Yeah, because you're pumping yourself full of chemicals, and now your mind's all fucked up. Ozempic proved that it's not necessarily genetic, because Ozempic, long story short, you inject it into yourself, and it basically prevents you from wanting to eat. You don't eat at all. So it is the food. The food is what's making you fat. It's not fucking genetics. But apparently this is a tall order for dogs. I don't know if people like understand this, but like animals like aren't like getting up in the middle of the night and cooking up hot pockets and ending up like these fat, chunky, adorable animals right here. The people are doing this, so it's like, okay, are you still gonna feed the dogs? Well, we'll just give it a Ozempic so it doesn't eat the food. I don't understand. This is insane. But this is going viral. Fuck. Yeah, this is animal cruelty. God damn. Why would you do this? My dog was fat, my beautiful popcorn, but she wasn't really mobile. She couldn't really move around or exercise because she had a funky hip because of the way that she was born. I think she had hip dysplasia. My poor baby, may she rest in peace. Mwah. I miss her dearly every day. What else do we got here? Oh yeah, Zimmer's working and being all nonchalant about this fire, and the woman filming is totally composed, and I guess this person right here is afraid to use a fire extinguisher, so she just ends up spraying this shit all over the goddamn restaurant. And people were bitching like, "Oh, is that really necessary?" Yeah, it's gonna suck to clean it up, but she put out a fire, so good for her. What else have we got here? Jim Acosta interviews AI-generated avatar of deceased Parkland teen promoting gun control message. Yeah, this is pretty dark. I don't really have anything funny to say. Some of this stuff is like old. It's like 2 weeks old. Yeah, cringe and lame. Let's see. Oh, dude, I don't want to talk about this right now. Georgia daycare worker charged with first-degree child abuse. So she ends up hurting this little child. And I just can't help but be mad at people, who these mostly normies. Like, dude, this is why the Democrats love pushing universal daycare, universal pre-K. They want parents to be divorced from their kids. They want to separate the parents from the child. They want the kids in the care and under the supervision of fucking fat bitches like this so they can brutalize their children, instill in them far leftist woke politics, and this is the result that you get. There was another story where another fucking daycare bitch scolded a child with hot water. It was pretty bad. Guys, you can't relax. We don't live in a normal world anymore where you can relax. If you relax and if you act like a fucking normie and you don't understand that there's a large demographic of people that just absolutely hate you and the color of your skin, and they will hurt you and your child, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Plain and simple. This is a crime-related story. I think there's some other crime-related stuff here, but nothing really worth talking about. 6 days into 2025 with my new RT. Who's at fault? Who cares? First off, you bought a car that you probably don't even own and probably have a double-digit interest rate, so yikes. Single mom viciously knocked out. In Cincinnati, mob attack breaks silence. Still recovering. So yeah, this story went viral of the jazz festival where there was a bunch of violence and shit. And they're like, oh, well, you can hear someone scream the N-word. I personally didn't really hear it. The woman is recovering, and a bunch of the people were finally arrested because there was a lot of pressure put on the Trump administration to go after these people. And then, of course, the woke tards are like, well, what about the guy who said the N-word? Well, who said that? Because I didn't fucking hear it. So we'll just follow up on that. Financial news. My husband makes $250K a year and doesn't give me free access to his/our money. He pays for all the bills and gives me a monthly allowance and money whenever I ask for it, but I don't have the ability to just spend from his account. We've been married for 8 years and a stay-at-home mom for 2. How to get out of the financial abusive marriage? Based on the description, Agrok, is this really abusive? Based on the described scenario, no, it doesn't qualify as financial abuse. Financial abuse typically involves denying access to funds, limiting independence, or using money to control. Here, bills are paid, and allowance is provided, and extra money is given on request. It's structured management, not denial. If it feels oppressive, consider open discussion or counseling. Fucking based. Unbelievably based AI. If you don't like it, date a bad boy. Date ex-con Chad, date tattoo parlor Chad, date barbershop Chad. They're not gonna. You'll probably be happier. You know, you'll probably be more fulfilled in the bedroom, but they're not gonna give you access to money. They don't have any money. Let's see how long you make out. Let's see how long until your kids start resenting you for breaking up a peaceful, beautiful family, a beautiful home that your husband has made for all of you. This deal here. This is better than most people get. Dude, fuck, where's this husband, dude? I'll fucking marry him. That sounds nice. Like, hey, dude, will you give me 30 grand for this remodel? JK, good answer, Grog. Yeah, this is an unbelievably based answer. Very necessary. Very necessary. Yeah, I don't know, man. People just got to count their fucking blessings, man. Dude, the greed and the entitlement of modern women. No, yeah, you need to get your head examined. This bitch belongs on Dr. Phil. I feel I was going to say Dave Ramsey, but Dave Ramsey has that boomer mentality where it's like, you know, it's no longer your money. It's our money now. You share that money, you know, no matter what. Yeah, I don't really believe that at all. You know, I just don't. Look, my girl's always going to get taken care of. Business is always going to get taken care of. My children and the girl will never want for anything. Like, you don't need access to my money. Because I do meticulous accounting. I do meticulous, you know, administrative work regarding, you know, tax prep. And, no, I just can't have someone having access to my money and spending it all fucking willy-nilly. Like, I gave my mom my credit card, and she was buying all kinds of crazy shit. It's my fucking mom. And I'm like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing? Luckily, there's an ability on the bank app where you can set it to reject every single transaction until you flip the feature back on. And I remember she called me. She's like, hey, the card doesn't work anymore. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, God. Let's see. What do we got here? Why can't I speed up the stream sometimes? Shut up, cheese. Also, hope you're enjoying your vacation, bro. Hope you're well. Hope you're making a lot of love to the boys. And, you know, you guys are treating each other good. And I just want nothing but the best for you, buddy. I really do. I saw that was so fucking creepy, an AI dead victim. Yeah, Pale Rider. Yeah, that dead stuff. I don't have anything prepared for, you know, a good monologue for that. So we're just going to have to skip past it. But it is disgusting and very manipulative to utilize a deceased child to promote taking my property away, telling me how many bullets can fly out of my gun, what I can and can't buy, and having the government intrude on my civil and constitutional liberties using this dead AI kid. It's disgusting. It makes me sick. I've been back from that vacation like 2 weeks ago. Well, I've been really busy for the past 2 weeks. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should have you come down here to Vegas. You can stay with me and help me with these fucking remodels so I can move on with my fucking life. All right. Oh, shit. It's that time, boys. We got to do consume sins. Gather around, children. Gather around. Have you consumed? In the chat, I need you to confess what you have consumed. Ladies and gentlemen, I myself am a sinner. I stand before God as a wrongdoer, and I ask only for his forgiveness in my moments of weakness. KFC made a very viral tweet, 60 million views. They said, here, damn. And there's a picture of a potato wedgie. The potato wedgie has been absent from the lives of so many Americans for over 5 years. This is one of the most delicious potato wedge that I have ever tasted in my fucking life. And I live in Vegas. I have access to all of these amazing restaurants. I can eat anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. But KFC's potato wedgies are so damn exceptional. And I ate some today. Lord, please forgive me, for I have sinned. I've consumed potato wedgies from KFC. They are back, ladies and gentlemen. And they are so crunchy and tasty and delicious, I could not resist. I am weak. And I ask the Lord to please give me the strength to reject these delicious brown, orange, Trump skin-colored potato wedgies from KFC. They are addicting. They are as addicting as cigarettes. They are as addicting as weed. They are as addicting as cocaine. I don't know what they put in these potato wedgies, but my taste buds cannot resist. The temptation is too strong, ladies and gentlemen. And I have sinned. I requested large potato wedgies, and they gave it to me in a big-ass box, and I fucking ate every single one of them because it was so damn good. Amen. I am weak. Lord, forgive me. Amen. I ask only for your forgiveness and moving forward, strength to say no. I'm here to testify that I did wrong. Amen. Friedrich Marx, don't say it with J. He'll touch your bum bum. You know, I'm not going to consume cheese's bum bum. Okay? As a straight, super straight male, I wouldn't do that. I can eat good, but I'll eat this shit off the ground. Nowhere near as addictive as smokes, and weed isn't addictive. Weed is addictive, Friedrich Marx. We're not going to debate this again. So what good anime do you recommend? Don't, please no anime talk. Please no. We got more consumed sins, okay? Oh shit, I don't know what, this kind of slipped in there. I can't even play this because it's some stupid song. Some hipster chick. This should have been pop culture related. Whoops. Well, we're going to have to move on. Addictive natural drink, Feel Free, is hooking young people with horrible consequences. Literal flakes of skin flying off. Amen. You consume this addictive natural drink called Feel Free, you're going to get hooked and your skin's going to melt off. It's going to flake off right before everyone in the world is going to know that you are a consumer. Have you consumed the Feel Free drink? Feel Free appears as an innocuous as a trendy new kombucha. And it's billed as a natural way to get a little boost. Manufacturer Botanic Tonics advertises the drink as filled with plant ingredients and perfect for whenever you want a mood lift, a caffeine-free energy boost, or a little extra focus. That sounds kind of suspicious if you ask me, but some hapless customers who picked up a little blue bottle at a convenience store or gas station learned the hard way that the drinks, which contain kava and croton extracts, can be severely addictive. Jasmine Odi cut out alcohol in 2022 for a lifestyle change and heard about Feel Free on the Skinny Confidential podcast, where it was billed as a good alternative to social drinking. The two hosts were actually taking a hiatus from alcohol, and they were talking about Feel Free and how it was really great alcohol alternative for sober people, and I was looking for something like that. All right, so it seems that they were trying to move in the right direction. Let's get to the part where their skin was falling off. Let's see. I was lethargic, depressed, anxious, barely able to get out of bed. She said, I was throwing up from the croton, and the kava can make your skin dry like alligator skin. Literal flakes of skin just like flying off. Oh, this is what it is. This is the drink that people are consuming. Guys, You cannot consume this shit. You want to feel free. You want to have that extra energy boost. Stop consuming the coffee. Stop consuming these gimmick drinks. All you need is the water from the earth, okay? That is enough to sustain you throughout the day. Amen. There's the all-water diets. You lose a lot of weight. You have a lot of energy. You wake up energized. You feel good throughout the entire day. All they do is drink water. You don't need these gimmick drinks. This is the work of the devil. This is the work of the enemy. They're trying to get you to consume these gimmick products, and it is literal poison, ladies and gentlemen. Amen. Your skin will fall off. You will start melting right before everyone. It is a punishment from the God, the Father. This is a punishment. Amen. Don't do it. All right, so Cheese looks like he's consuming a lot of anime. Not much has changed. You know, I've actually been writing a song. I've been writing a song about a boy who wastes his life collecting Funko Pops and watching anime. And it's about how life has passed him by. It's about how his time is up. And instead of focusing on the family, focusing on reality, focusing on what is important, he occupied his time with these jackass endeavors. The lyrics are pretty good. I don't know what I'm going to call it. I've been just working on it here and there when I get a break from the remodel. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, God, what is this? Redditor has an emergency goon kit. Ladies and gentlemen, are you consuming goon kits? Emergency gooning kit I made just in case I need to goon immediately anywhere I am. Laptop and charger pictures of goon sluts, tons of lube, fleshlight, earphones, and 6 terabytes worth of my private goon material. Okay, guys, we found Cheese's private alt account, and this is his goon-related content. His goon stash, his elite, what do they call it? His bug out goon bag. Ugh, filth. I can't. This has to be satire. Please be satire. Says Sigh from Noir. Looks like a sex offender starter kit. Never goon. Yeah, never goon, guys. The never goon movement is probably losing a little bit of steam. The goon kits are now becoming mainstream, and this is problematic, you guys. I mean, this is how you know that the youngsters, the young men in this country, are steering away from God and his message of consuming these harmful products, where these youngsters are now assembling goon kits. My ears are being punished. Let me go check your stream game hours and see if it compares to the anime goon session. Suck my dick, Cheese. That's my answer. Where is your family, Geo? Is this a story about you? No. Geo sent me a puppet that looks like a Funko Pop. Disavow. It's an 87 anime called Metal Skin Bannock. Oh, God. Ugh. Jazz needs to mix Feel Free with Everclear. Dude, do you want to kill Chaz? Because you will end Chaz's life if you convince him to mix Feel Free with Everclear. Dude, Chaz will cease to exist if you do that. Not related to Full Metal Panic. I don't know what any of this anime shit is. Ugh, gross. Dude, that's killing my boner. All right, guys. NFL season, the football season is AMOGUS. I am calling this user Million Refugee. I am calling for a complete and total shutdown of football fans. Society has progressed beyond the need for football. I categorically agree. So we have these dorks doing this. Can I even play this? Am I going to get copyright struck? Oh, let's find out. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here, I'll put it low. Ugh. Guys, if you ever see me... Look, you guys have permission to delete my save file if I ever make a video like this. If I start doing these stupid, cringy TikTok dances, just fucking end me. Get a semi-truck full of dynamite and crash it right into my ass and blow me off into fucking outer space. Ugh, gross. Look, guys, I'm just gonna be honest. I can't fuck with football no more. I can't fuck with any of this shit. It's also fucking cringe. Like, I can't stand it. If my friends ever were like if I go over to their house during a game or whatever, and I see them recording a TikTok and doing this shit, I'm just gonna leave, and I'm never gonna talk to them again. I'm gonna delete their. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna make a look like a funny face or anything. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna block them on all the socials. I'm gonna block their phone number. I'm never gonna see them again. I'm gonna move on with my life. I can't do this. I can't do this. Ugh. Ugh. Jeez, I swear I've seen you do videos like that. I have never, ever in my life made a dance video for Trump. Did some, I don't even do the adorable old man dancing to disco dance Trump thingy. No, I don't. No. All right, guys. That's enough consumed since. So, it's enough consuming. We gotta rush through these last topics before I clear out of here. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's only 2 hours. Usually I go for a little bit longer. It's been a good show. Let me see. We got no drop frames, like only 2%, less than 2% of CPU usage. Computer's in great shape. You gotta do this with the hot dude. If someone super chatted me $500. If someone I'm dead serious. If someone super chatted me $500, I would do the haka. I don't know how to do the haka, so I would have to play a video in front of me, and then I would start, and then I would do the haka. But other than that, I fucking hate the haka dance. Dude, the haka dance was almost as bad as those fat guys doing the NFL whatever fucking dance. The stream needs co-hosts to chip away at the rock hard geo. What do you mean rock hard? What does that mean? Oh god, no, never haka. I'm part of the I'm a part of the anti-consume movement and the hashtag never haka movement. Absolutely not. No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm not reading that. All right, so we got to get into the 304s. They're out of control. Poor guy got absolutely cooked by his wife. I don't blame him. Am I the asshole for thinking about divorcing my wife after she drunkenly exposed me to our group of friends? Guys, I literally don't know what to do after this weekend. Posting from a burner account since I am connected with a lot of friends and family on my account. The issue here happened Saturday night. We had our friend group over. There were 6 of us couples in there, and we were hosting at our house. The night was progressing pretty normal. We had done dinner, and we were just hanging out on the couches chatting. Everyone had been drinking over the course of the evening, so we were all pretty comfy. My wife, Amy, all fake names, was talking to one of the girls about my new job. I recently got a promotion that comes with a nice raise. The downside is that I have to travel a decent amount, up to 2 weeks a month, but only 3 or 4 days at a time at most. Okay, that's not too bad. We were excited for the changes the extra income will provide and how it will change our future, so that travel was something we agreed to being worth it. As they were chatting, her friend Pamela was talking about how they make it work since her husband also travels for work a lot. The conversation was actually quite helpful, honestly, in a lot of ways, as there was some good ideas in there. That is until it happened. Heidi jokingly said, and be sure to order some sex toys that are the same size as him so you can still have sex while he is gone. Now she was giggling, just making light of the fact that I would be gone, and that the biggest challenge they had was the interruption to their sex life. No harm in this, right? This is that is until my wife says it. I don't think they make them that tiny. Guys, I went totally pale, everyone. Yeah, dude, it's unbelievably over. I don't know how you would recover from that. I've never been in that situation. I've also, my equipment is not tiny, so I don't know. I've never had complaints. I can't imagine this. I don't know. Divorcing her? Fuck, dude. I don't know, man. I don't even know what to do. Let me see. Maybe there's some handful of suggestions in the comment section. It's a Redditor, not a person. Okay, never mind. So we can disregard this guy. He can go fuck himself. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next one. Bro married a hoe and is shocked to learn she isn't that way with him. Ooh. Let's see, Ashback, when the base answer is always yes. Any disrespect, instant divorce. You know what, Ashback, when you put it that way, I think I'm going to have to agree. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is how I roll. If I'm being disrespected from some bitch, then I'm just never going to talk to her again. Someone said join GeoStream to put Geo in line. LOL. Shut up, fuck you, State of Dispatch. Go to bed, motherfucker. I know you got to work in the morning. Let's see, Friedrich Marx wants to join, I guess. Okay, people want to hang out in the chat. No, God damn it, I got to do a show. I'm trying to wrap this up quickly. Bro married hoe and is shocked to learn that she's not willing to do things with him. Okay, so my wife had her wild phase before me, and now that I'm finally thriving, I feel like I missed out. Am I wrong for feeling this way? I've been married to my wife for 5 years, together for 8, and we have 2 beautiful children. She's been my first everything, and my first girlfriend, and my first real relationship, my first in every sense. I didn't really date in high school or college because honestly, I didn't take care of myself. I lacked confidence and didn't feel attractive, so I stayed focused on other things. My wife, on the other hand, had a more typical college experience. She had a few relationships and had her phase, as she was extremely attractive. She even did stuff with 2 guys at the same time. Ooh, and you still married that? Ooh. She was upfront about it when we started dating. Yeah, see, this is your problem. Yeah, so now I don't really have any sympathy for this dude because she warned you, bro. She warned you. She showed up to the dates with a giant red flag in her hand, and you still wiped it up. And it never bothered me, although I tried to not think about it too much. Yeah, why would anybody want to think about their wife getting banged by 2 dudes at the same time? Getting DP'd. Now, here's the thing. Over the years, she's become quite reserved when it comes to intimacy. She says she had her wild side during college, and now that she's done with that phase, she prefers a more traditional approach to intimacy. She says she's tired of everything she wanted to and knows what she enjoys and what she doesn't enjoy in the bedroom. And she wants to build intimacy on love, not wild lust. And I completely respect that. I'm not trying to do something which doesn't excite her in the bedroom. Yeah, bro. You don't excite her in the bedroom. She did those things because those dudes drove her wild. She was hot and bothered by them, so she was willing to do anything and everything, even getting tag teamed by multiple dudes at once. You, on the other hand, obviously don't excite her the way that you would like. Because let's just put it this way: if one of those dudes, college Chad or whatever, hits her up, let's say this married couple gets into a fight, they get into an argument, and he says something you probably shouldn't say, and she's pissed, and then college Chad, frat boy Chad, hits her up, is like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, dude, she's gonna remember all the wild things that she did with him that she doesn't even do with her husband. She's gonna run out there and do it again. If he were to divorce her hypothetically, she'd be doing all this shit with all the Tinder dates, all the Hinge dates, all the Bumble dates. But lately I've changed. I'm in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally. Even my family and friends are kind of shocked with how I look. My wife loves the new me and says she finds me more attractive than ever. But to be blunt, I don't care what my wife. I don't care that my wife finds me attractive because I know I look good now. And it's not like her finding me more attractive will change anything in the bedroom department. That is correct. My hormones right now are all over the place, and I can't help. But I feel like I missed my chance to experience that same fun side of life. I never had the exploration, the experimentation, the freedom. Now that I finally feel great about myself, that door seems closed. Well, you can always cheat. I brought it up with my sister. We're close, and she was surprisingly blunt. She said it's unfair that my wife got to have those experiences and now expects me to settle for less than what she once enjoyed. That hit me harder than I expected, but my sister also loves me to death and said some crazy stuff like I deserve to have the experience. All right, you guys get the point. Yeah, dude, you're fucked. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Has anyone else been in this situation? How did you cope? Well, no, I've never been in this situation because, I dated in high school, dated in college, dated afterwards. I'm dating now. And this is not something that I had an issue with. But I would say this. If I could go back in time, there was maybe 2 or 3 girls that were wife material. And if I was more mature and if I was more secure or more confident in the place I was in life, and had more structure, I would have rather just settled with them and not done the whole like going out and partying and doing shit. It can be overrated, but I can also understand the jealousy that springs forth from hearing about the wife getting banged by all these dudes. It is incredibly unfair, and it really boils down to and here's the thing. even though the guy, I guess, lost the weight, is physically fit, and he's at that point in life where he's the best version of himself, and he can't really enjoy it. I don't know. They just divorce her. Dude, she seems like she's for the streets, and she's obviously still not attracted to you because she doesn't see the new you. She sees the old you. She obviously settled. I mean, that's what's happening here. She settled. She got the kids. She got she's got the house. She's got all the security and access to the resources of this guy, and she doesn't need his love, physical love, if you know what I mean. Let me read some of these comments. Mr. Obvious is good back, but he is obsolete. I don't know who that is. I see Mr. Obvious in the corner. What do you mean in the corner? I don't know what you mean. This ain't because she missed Chad's dick. Yeah, she does. Imagine believing a woman's word. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, bad, no hymen, no diamond. Yeah, dude, this is one of the rare moments where, like, no hymen, no diamond would have saved this guy's life. If you date or marry a woman over 30 and she won't do anal, then don't bother with her because she did it with everyone else. You don't even have to want it to it's a test. Yeah, no, I get that. I personally don't like doing that. I've been requested by women to do it, and I've fucking refused. And the few times that I tried, they said that it hurt. So he's the woman. Imagine being at your best and listening to someone on the fast decline. I know, right? All right, we gotta move on. Let's see. My wife admitted she is still in love with her ex. Yeah, dude, you gotta leave. You gotta sever. That's the only solution here. My wife and I have been together for 3 years, married for 1. We are both in our second marriage. I have no kids. She has 2 with her ex. We are both in our 30s, so taking on stepkids was not a big deal to me. They are awesome, and I love hanging around them. This will be important later, but we are Mexican. Her ex, however, is white. He has blonde hair and blue eyes. The way she described him, he was a good dad, but a POS husband. He called her names, put his hands on her, not once, but twice. Made her sleep in the car in the garage once, like genuinely awful. I had a feeling when she made comments to the kids about just like your dad, she said to her son, and your beautiful blue eyes, just like your dad, and to her daughter, you remind me of your dad when you say that. Oh, he has blonde hair and blue eyes. Yeah, so Latinx lady, Mrs. White Chad, and obviously the abuse wasn't that much of a deal breaker because she still reminisces about him. She's reminded of the ex-husband every single day. And obviously Latinx chick settled for Latinx bro. Dude, like, she's not going to give you kids. I can't imagine her giving this dude kids. So that's probably a deal breaker. You need to settle for somebody who is also single, somebody that's on your level, and someone that isn't going to be constantly bringing up the ex-husband. This sounds like a really terrible situation for the dude. I don't know why he would even agree to enter into this relationship in the first place. And it's not even a relationship. It's a fucking marriage. This dude is married to this chick. Who she has slept with matters more than how many men she has slept with. I don't know if that is true, but it's something that could be debated. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, dude is down bad. So this is what I wrote. She settled for the Latinx bro, but she misses the dad of her kids. He left her. She didn't have a choice in the split. She settled straight up. The original poster is left with Latinx pussy crumbs. He's probably good to her kids, good to her and her kids, but it isn't enough for her. Yeah, see, that's the sad part. Like, he's probably doing everything right in life, in regards to this marriage. He's treating her with respect. He's respecting the children. He's really fulfilling the role of a father. But it's pointless because this woman doesn't respect you. She will never look at you the way that she looked at the man who gave her children. She will never look at him or think of him the way that she thinks of the ex. There was a song from Mitch Allen, the singer of SR71, and there's a song called Alive, and it was about this guy, or it's about this girl who's leaving an abusive relationship, and there's this good line, good writing in the song, where the singer laments that the woman doesn't just remember the violence of the man's hand, but also the loving touch of the man. So she's probably thinking of both, and it's not all negative. And I don't know, man. This is a big fucking mistake. Again, all this shit needs to be resolved like on the first date. Like you got to know all this like immediately, or you're not gonna make it. I don't know what to say. Let me read some of these comments really quick. Nigel, you deserve more viewers. Thank you so much, Pale Rider. I'll do my best to recommend your streams. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. All need to do is to make sure the schedule on time. I know. I need to do the show a lot earlier. I need to do better prep work, and I need to get more organized with these remodels. I mentioned it earlier in the beginning of the show, how dire my situation has been, but it's getting better. Gringo Pipe is crack. Gringo Pipi is cracked to the Asian and Latinas, as BBC is to the white American whore. Well, I think the BBC thing is kind of over exaggerated for subversive reasons. If you look at all the dating statistics, it's really just an astroturf phenomena that is pushed to rile up like the Groypers and shit, which is whatever. I mean, I didn't even know what that meant. I thought BBC stand for like big brown cock, and I'm just like, oh, it's about me. Someone's like, because someone said I had a BBC, or I think that might have been a racist joke because people were saying that Italians are black. So I don't know. I'm stupid. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. Like I've gotten with Asian chicks. I've never gotten with a Latina. Well, I got with somebody who's half. I don't know if that counts. She was one of those white Latinas, I guess. And I never got with a black chick. Well, only a Blasian. I don't discriminate. As long as they're pretty, I don't have a problem with it. Let's see, night. Might be mean to Gio for me. Good night. All right, good night, Pro Rider. I love you, Frog, but you could do some more work. Yeah, I know, guys. I've been slacking. I've been fucking slacking. It's been pretty bad. All right, so we got to move on. Let's wrap this up. My fiance has nudes of his ex. I'm about to give birth to our baby in 2 weeks. As the title says, I'm both pregnant and just found nudes of my fiance's ex on his laptop for some background. We've been together since 2022. We moved to a city far from relatives over a year, got engaged, and I found out I'm pregnant and due for the end of the month. A few days ago, my fiance asked me if I've ever gone on his laptop. I said no, and that I didn't have any reason to. He said I should, and that he has movies and games I could watch or play while he was away for work. Today, I got bored and messaged him that I was going to start watching Game of Thrones on it, and agreed. While looking for the file, I instead found a file labeled pics, winky face. Someone wrote, I'd KMS. Dude, if you're a dude, don't have like nude photos of your ex. It's like really stupid. It's a really stupid thing to have. Because God forbid somebody goes on there and they leak those images and the ex can trace it back to you, and then you're going to get revenge porn charges levied against you. That's not a good thing. Disavow. I feel bad for the fiance. The dude is a total fuck up and should have, he needs to explain himself. Be like, yeah, she didn't state it here, but the problem is like if those pictures came after 2022. If it was beforehand, girl needs to chill. She needs to chill out. She just needs to talk to the man, let the man explain it, let the man delete it, and be done with it. They can recover from this if it's prior to 2022. What else have we got here? Women are shocked. They no longer get special treatment. Ooh, this is going to be good. For Mr. Obvious. I am starting to get scared of the rising hate speech against women. Well, it's not coming from me, that's for sure. I'm starting to get scared of the rising hate speech against women. I see it everywhere on Instagram, blank accounts, calling us disgusting, vile, slurs, subhumans. The list goes on, and there are so many. I understand this obsession. If they hate us so much, why don't they just date each other? I've also noticed a rise in intimidating looks in real life. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm at least conventionally attractive, and getting stared at in public is just normal. But lately I've noticed something different. Literal hate stares. Men looking at me with his intense, cold expression, like actual hate from a distance. It's extremely intimidating. Outcasted men are very, very angry right now, and that makes me anxious. Let me see some of the comments, right? Yes, I've noticed men be a lot more aggressive in passing, like shoulder checks, and expecting me to step aside for them, just generally more hostile. I have also noticed an uptick in men, especially young men, just kind of barreling through the sidewalk and not making room as much lately. An older man did this to me in a big city. I was shocked and instinctively turned back to say sorry. He didn't even flinch. Yeah, this happened to me at Yellowstone last year on the trail to Waterfall or to a waterfall, zigzagging up and down a cliff. I almost got shoulder checked right off several times. A lot of Redditors are drug addicts, so I'm gonna assume a lot of this springs forth from paranoia. When most people are out in public, like no one's really paying attention to you, so I'm just gonna assume a lot of this is just legit paranoia. Like I think what's really on display, they're not getting special treatment anymore, as Mr. Obvious, the main OP here, states. So they're not getting like, oh, how are you, my lady? Ooh, tip my fedora. You know, men aren't approaching them as often as they used to. It could be because they're getting older. Also, it's possible that it could be a change in the so-called culture. So a lot of people are more wary about being filmed. Like a guy is wary about being filmed and put on some Instagram, clout chasing bitches, social media, and being labeled a creep. So a lot of guys are being more reserved. It's personally never happened to me. I just don't get those reactions. I feel like I'm pretty good about selecting who I'm going to talk to and how I'm going to approach them. It's not something that I've noticed. It's not a problem that I've had. In regards to this stuff, I've never seen this before. I've never witnessed it myself. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I feel like since they're not getting the special treatment that they're used to, they're not getting the positive attention that they're used to, they're now imagining that their experiences in public are more negative than not. I feel like this is these women. This is a hysteria. I think this is overly exaggerated. I think the left likes to make this like this bullshit meme. They like to say it's like accountability and lack of privilege feels like oppression. You know, they're talking about like white guys and shit. It's all bullshit. But I think this might apply here. The lack of, pretty privilege, the lack of this preferential treatment for being a conventionally attractive woman, now that it is absent and now that people are now demanding equality of the sexes, they're demanding all people be treated fairly with dignity and respect. Now they feel oppressed as a result, and they're kind of projecting, because women can be pretty vicious, that's just that's how I feel. I could be wrong. Let me read some of these comments here. Let's see. Hate speech is fine. Disgust speech is the issue. Prom is the 304s are heading towards disgust. No, incels will be hostile to actually good-looking women. They would only do it if they look like a BCH. Hi, on a different platform. Love y'all. Again, good night. Yeah, good night, buddy. Off to gamble and call these. Jesus Christ. All right, we're almost done here. Whoop. My mom is worried my Magic American wife, 32, is changing me. Any advice? I'm white, and before I met my wife, I neglected myself. My hygiene wasn't great. My skin wasn't dry. I wasn't eating very healthy, and I was dealing with slight depression. Since being with her, she's brought me skincare products, encouraged me to go to the gym and lift weights, helped me eat better, and even bought me new stylish clothes. My skin looks healthier. My body is more built, and I feel better about my overall about myself overall. Okay, well, so far so good. I recently visited my mom wearing a graphic T-shirt with a bomber jacket and ripped jeans and a gold chain and some Jordans. This has to be fake. This has to be fake. I honestly like my new style and think it's pretty badass. My mom said this isn't you and commented that I look like a Magic American man now. She believes my wife is trying to change my identity, though she hasn't said it outright. I don't see it that way. I just like taking care of myself and wearing clothes I enjoy. But my mom seems uneasy, and I'm worried about this turning into a bigger conflict. I want to keep the peace, but also make sure my wife feels respected. Oh, yeah, dude, you're dressing like a fucking idiot, bro. You sound stupid as hell. Dude, you're dressing like Malibu's Most Wanted. And you're like, yo, dog, she. And he's probably all talking to you. He's like, what you mean, mama? She. Hello, fellow. Look, man, I am racist, but this sounds like this dude is winning and this lady is a massive improvement in his life. And that kind of beats all else on the micro level. I mean, to a degree, I can kind of see this. Mama already fucked up letting her precious white son. Oh, no, God disavowed. These are really hateful comments. Oh, no, actually spit out my drink when you described his outfit. This has to be a troll. Dude, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, don't be hate. Yeah, this is what he looks. He looks like B-Rad from fucking Malibu's Most Wanted. White mommy doesn't want her son becoming a wigger, but his new black mommy has been dressing him that way. Serious Reddit problem. Oh no! I'm a straight up G. Dude, I don't know, man. Like, look, dude. If you down with this, just be happy. You know, she treats him right. You know, she's not running around on him, and you know, I think we gotta be positive here. Mr. Joe writes, changing your style for a woman is cuck training. It kind of is. Pimped my husband. Yeah, dude, this sounds, yeah, instead of like Pimp My Ride, that would be like a good show. Pimp My Husband, just like all these fucking dorky, nerdy ass like Redditors. They're like, this is my new girlfriend, Shaniqua, and she doesn't really like, you know, what I do. I like to watch anime and collect Funko Pops, and I shop at the Gap, and we're gonna see what she can do for me here. And then he comes out and it's like, yo, she, he just, that's all he says. Oh God, dude, I hope this is a troll. It's a good troll. All right, advice needed. Having feelings for a sex worker and wondering how to ask her what's the story. Oh God, here, let me go ahead and zoom in on this. I am married with kids, but haven't had sex with my wife in over 3 years. Oof. I finally saw a sex worker a few months ago and was very surprised how classy and attractive she was. Revisited a few times and went on 2 dates, and I'm starting to have feelings. There seems to be some connection, but reading her reviews, many comment on how warm she is. I'm going for a dinner date tomorrow and wondering how to ask her nicely. Is this all an act? Or is there something here? I'm not thinking of asking her to run away with me or anything, but I can't shake the feeling that there's something there. I realize the odds are remote, and most likely she's just very good at her job. Are there any sex work friendly ways to ask this question without making her feel like feel like I'm trying to be a cliche creep and have a Pretty Woman style thing with? I'm not. I would just like to either box in the relationship into fantasy only, or maybe one of the, okay, first off, dude, like, I live in Vegas. A lot of pretty women out here who work in the service industry. There's a lot of sex workers out there roaming the casinos, taking dudes up to their hotel rooms, yada, yada, yada. A lot of strippers, a lot of strip clubs out here. And I actually dated a stripper before. And like, dude, like, here's the deal. Like, this is their job. Their job is to provide you with an experience. They're selling something. They're selling an experience, okay? They got to make you feel a certain way. So this doesn't seem like just a standard sex worker. This seems like an escort as well. So you're going out on dates. She's arm candy. You know, you guys look official, and she's well composed. Again, she's selling you an experience, and that experience is a girlfriend or wife who actually sleeps with you, and fulfills the man's needs. But it's a fugazi, right? This is an illusion. This is what they do. And it's really pathetic when so many guys who are inexperienced can't tell when someone is just doing their fucking job. Like, I know people, they like to, like, pretend that they're friends with, like, bartenders and shit. Like, we'll go out and they like to pretend that they're like, yo, I know this bartender. I'm like, dude, you don't know this bartender. You don't know their last name. You didn't go to school with them. You don't know anything about their family. You think you know them because they're nice to you, and they'll bullshit with you about, like, I don't know, fucking sports or something, but, like, you don't know them. You don't know these people. And it's really, really weird and cringe that they don't realize that they're just being nice because it's their job. Dude, okay, so you already made it clear, like, you don't want to run away with a chick. You don't want to, you know, abandon your family for this woman. Why ask this? What are you going to, like, no. And even then, she's probably going to lie just so she can still keep extracting money from you, keeping you as a client. I mean, that's the whole point of sex, because sex workers don't have customers. They have clients. Clients build relationships with you. So she's building a relationship with you, a business relationship. And that's technically what this is. For him to be this obtuse about it is kind of infuriating, to be honest. There's Yelp for hookers. If there is, I'm not aware of it. Well, I was young, Drill. I was very young. I met her on MySpace, and I didn't meet her at a strip club or anything. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of normal. Our relationship was actually kind of normal. We didn't date for that long. Did she bring back Greek yogurt tonight? Oh, fuck you. Of course he did. He's a registered Democrat. You know, I probably shouldn't have told that story. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. But I'm just saying, like, the girls talk. And, like, one of them was, dude, like, all of them have these crazy stories where the like guys would come into these strip clubs and they would offer to buy these chicks cars. They would, like, offer to, and all these chicks, none of them respected those guys. None of them were interested in, like, having a serious relationship with them or giving them kids or getting married or anything or running off with them. No, they're just using them for what they are. And there's no game that you can lay down on them. That'll convince them to form an actual so-called relationship with you. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, really, that so many guys just don't get it. This is the most attractive hobby a man can have according to women. Let's just scroll down here. Dude, we went over the least attractive ones, and it was like collecting Funko Pops, watching anime and shit. So apparently reading is a hobby. I don't know how that's a hobby, but apparently this is very attractive to women. So, like, on dates, you know, I'm like taking these chicks to Applebee's and I'm like, yo, I'm reading this book. It's called Camp of the Saints, you know, and or I'll just pull out this book right here. It'll be like, yo, girl, spooky season's right around the corner. You want to read some George Floyd creepypastas Volume 1? Apparently, this is what they like. Who knows? What else is here? Foreign languages. I don't know about that. Is that a hobby? Oh yes, my hobby is learning French on the side. Like, no, this is so stupid. Cooking. This is just a life skill. Dudes need to, like, know how to cook. Like, I mean, unless, like, your parents, like, cook for you or bring you food or whatever, I guess that's cool. But woodworking, I can see woodworking being attractive. Painting, well, depends what kind of painting. Little mustache man painting or, like, painting houses, because I can paint a house. I got all the tools for that. I got my Wagner. I got my all my fancy rollers. Writing, okay, I write. Gardening, yikes, I don't know about that. This is a chick's, like, what chicks like. Swimming, okay, I do that. Photography, no, not really. Astronomy, ugh. Hiking, is hiking even a hobby? I don't know. I like to hike. Archery, okay. Blacksmithing, what the fuck? And then, of course, the lowest on the list is traveling. So that's how you know this list is bullshit. Because first off, traveling is not a fucking hobby. Yeah, dude, this list sucks. This is a really shitty list. All right, let me see. Let's scroll down. All right, so here's the least attractive hobbies to women. Comic books is at the very top. Okay, so collecting comic books is very unattractive. So, okay, guys, no talking about comic books at all. So if you're like K6 and you're like, yo, I'm reading Isom and I can't wait for Isom 3, dude, that pussy's gonna dry up like the Mojave Desert. Cosplaying, I don't do that. Debating, I mean, is debating even a hobby? I don't know. Like, I don't like Destiny. I think he's kind of a bitch, but he's like the master debater, I guess. And dude, he's getting all that Antifa poon. Okay, drinking is not a hobby, but drinking is not very attractive. I don't really drink that much. MTG, I guess that's Magic the Gathering. Yeah, that could be very unsexy. I can imagine that. Yeah, so if you do any nerdy shit, just don't ever talk about it because a chick will be deterred. Anime, yeah, anime should probably be at the top. Makeup, what would makeup be a hobby for a man? Crypto, yeah, I can see crypto turning people off. Cigars, I don't understand that. I don't understand cigars as a hobby, but okay. Clubbing, that's an activity, not necessarily a hobby. I can see why I would be unattracted to a woman, but, you know, some of my, my girls, sometimes they want to go out dancing, so we're going clubbing. Marijuana, ooh. Oh, Funko Pops! Oh, Funko Pops made the list! Arguing online again, not necessarily a hobby, it's just a jackass activity. Porn. Yeah, I mean, people just do treat porn like a lifestyle. It definitely is an addiction, much like marijuana. Very unattractive is why I don't watch that shit. Gambling. Oh yeah, gambling is really, really bad. It's destroying families, and I don't even know what this bottom one is. Oh, Manosphere. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're in the Manosphere, I guess you're not really dating, right? Because a lot of these dudes are like going MGTOW and stuff. And like I'm a part of some Discord communities where they're just like, a lot of that like anti-woman shit is kind of like a brown thing. I didn't say that, they're saying that, and yeah, I don't really engage in that shit. So whatever. Really funny list. Really funny list. Both of these are inconclusive, to be honest, because these aren't real hobbies, man. Like these are legitimately not real hobbies. So imagine caring a single shit about what a woman wanted to like. Well, if you want to get laid, you got to care to a degree. That's what simps are for. They do the dirty deed, desperate for the puniti. They are very desperate for the puniti. They'll do anything for it. But simps can't seal the deal though. Like simps are outcasts. They're the genuine incels, to be honest. You know, they're not just consuming the corn. They're also paying for it via or a la OnlyFans or Fansly or whatever, or Patreon. Yeah, they're all into that shit, and it's really disgusting. It's not even just a turn off for women, but like even like me as a man, if I'm like hanging out with some dude, I'm like, oh, I guess he's cool, you know, I'll invite him out to like a party or whatever. But if he's like, yo, I pay for this OnlyFans, out, not interested. You're not hanging out with me. I'm not gonna bring you around. It's embarrassing. What is this? Lil Tay launched OnlyFans on her 18th birthday and made over $1 million in just 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, again, just further proof that so many guys have strayed away from God. This is really fucking disgusting. Because Lil Tay, while she is technically an adult, she still looks like a fucking baby. And it's just kind of disgusting to me that somebody would immediately subscribe to this page and start giving her money to look at her box. So I like this post from Ashton. This trend of young girls setting goals to join OF as soon as they turn of age breaks my heart. Speaking as someone who has been on the platform, I understand a lot of people want to sugarcoat it by yelling feminism, but the reality is sex work limits your opportunities. So many of these young girls don't know who they are or what their future holds, and by jumping into the snake pit as soon as they're of age, they're giving up these opportunities before they even get started. Yeah, and even worse than that, I don't have it pulled up. But there was an article where just I published like a day or two ago where Lil Tay was lamenting how she's been overly sexualized as a young woman, as a young girl. And she has sunken into, I guess, some sort of a depression. She has been struck by sadness as a result of being sexualized and objectified. Granted, she did this herself, okay? So she's an adult. This is her willingly doing this shit. And it's like, you know, I don't know what it's going to take to change the culture or to change people's mindsets, change people's mentalities about the nature of this explicit adult content and how harmful it is to all parties involved. It is harmful for men. They become stunted in their growth. It is harmful for women. It destroys their psyche. It makes them unsuitable to be a life partner, a wife, if you will. If they have children, those children are going to be bullied. Riley Reid is now seeking advice on what schools to take her children to, so the kids are open-minded to the fact that their mom was a corn star. And they don't want the kids to be bullied. I mean, this is a very serious, genuine, this is the reality for these stars, these ex-corn stars, where they need to worry about their family being ruthlessly harassed because of their actions. And if Lil Tay, God forbid, has fucking kids, they're going to be bullied because Lil Tay decided to, you know, engage in this kind of content and make money off of this, or make money on this website, doing, you know what. It's gross. Let me see. What's up, Pixie? Let's see. Lil Tate released her OnlyFans right on the dot, which means that her pics were when she was 17. Yeah, that's probably true. Is that girl that made Dasha famous? I have no idea. That's a lot of PDF files money. It is. Having kids and making them woke, immune is how you fix the cultures. The issue is zero of the companies are willing to do what's needed. I don't know. Friedrich Marx also said, "You're wrong. I am the only one here with a fuck trophy." I don't know about that. As far as I am concerned, you're a virgin, and that's why your takes are so adorably wrong all the time. They're adorably right all the time. Let's continue. What is this? Men hit the gym after a breakup thinking their body is the issue. Bro, you have the emotional intelligence and maturity of a doorknob. Go to therapy. No, therapy is a scam. I don't even know why I saved that. The moment she turned 18, she made an OF, and within 3 hours, she made over $1 million. Modern society is cooked. I don't know if there's any recovering from this. I mean, there is. As a society, there is. If you're an individual and you paid for this, you're going to burn in hell. Yeah, so, again, I don't know the process, but from my understanding, if you want to be I guess, a creator on any of these platforms where you show your butthole or whatever, there's an extensive background process, and it takes some time. So the fact that this was able to happen this quickly is kind of suspicious, as other people have mentioned. I don't know the inner workings of these sites. I don't go on them. I don't patronize them. I'm not thirsty or a simp or any of that shit. So, yes, sus. I don't know. Someone should investigate. Let's see. The worst you can do is say no. Her. This is old, but it's still kind of funny. The guy writes, "Want to go to Starbucks and study soon?" And the girl, thinking she's, I guess, replying to her friend, takes a screenshot of the message. "Help me reject this boy." And then she realizes who she texted. Oh my God. And then the boy writes, "It's all right." Yeah, bro, like, she's obviously just not that into you. And this is the best way to handle it. You just got to roll with it. Just be like, yeah, it's all right. You got to move on, dude. But the worst you can say is no. Yeah, just lie. Just be like, no, I can't. Or just be like, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, just lie. It's better. There are 2 ways to prove you're not a virgin. Tape it or get your oven to drop a fuck trophy to raise. Anything less, you're a virgin. Yeah, I'm not going to destroy my life by releasing a sex tape. That's not going to happen. All right, Friedrich Marx demands sex tapes confirmed. I don't know what to make of that. Sus. All right, just like 3 more of these. At what age does a bull eventually become her boyfriend? Oh, no. All right, so typical Reddit moment. At what stage does the bull eventually become her boyfriend? Because my GF has a huge cream pie fetish. My best friend and her agreed to a level of exclusivity so that they wouldn't have to use condoms. But to be fair to him, she had to available to him at a frequency worth the commitment. She had no problem agreeing to that. LOL. My best friend recently told me how he doesn't even masturbate anymore because of how frequent they fuck. Since he only lives down the road from us, they meet up pretty often. Before the lockdown, they went on dates in public and have gone away on weekend trips together. They're very flirtatious, kiss and grope each other in public, not caring who sees. I imagine these people are fat and disgusting. I know that I'm her primary boyfriend, but at a point, he became more than just a bull for her. At what point does a bull eventually become her boyfriend? This is from our Cuckold Psychology. Just end yourself. Burn your house down with everybody inside, with all the doors locked. That's the only remedy here. All right, so we got to get into hoax hate. All right, so hoax hate. What do we got here? Wahaja Khali. Our country is being ruined by mediocre, fragile white men. Okay. Wow, it sounds like something Nicolas J. Fuentes would say.
The question is, we're going to talk about how this is happening in real time and how this has always happened, how the fragility of a mediocre, terrified white men is destroying America, and how they have to make a level playing field for themselves. And it's all projection all the time. Like I just said right now, safe spaces for them, none for us. The question is, we're going to talk about how this is happening in real time and how this has always happened, how the fragility of a mediocre, terrified white men is destroying America, and how they have to make a level playing field for themselves. And it's all projection all the time.
No, dude, it's more like the playing field was unfair to people like Wajahat al-Khali that dude could not compete with these so-called mediocre white guys. This fucking retard could not do what the white boys did. And again, they want to like say all this racist shit, and it's like, dude, if they're so fucking mediocre and like stupid and like afraid or whatever, then like why even bother coming to this country? Just go to a country where all the people are stunning and brave and look like you. But instead, you want to come to a country like the one that I live in and shit on the native population and say all this racist shit. I don't know about you, but there were, I guess, all these so-called mediocre white dudes. They did a lot of really amazing shit, and all the greatest heroes, they all appear to look like these mediocre white dudes, and none of them look like this fucker Wajahat Ali. Yeah, nothing says insecure little bitch like constantly shitting on an entire race endlessly, and it's the only type of racism that's like in vogue and totally permitted, because if you said this about any other group, you would get fucking canceled, you would get fired from your job, you'd get thrown in jail or whatever. But you can say all the fucking racist, hateful shit about white people, and the funny thing is, like, none of it is true, you know. Like I just noticed that a lot, you know. Like usually it doesn't always ring true, like when you're trashing somebody, because sometimes it's accurate, right? Sometimes it's necessary. But if you're like endlessly talking shit about like a group of people and it's not accurate, it's not true at all, that suggests to me that the person doing the shit talking, like Wajahat Ali, that suggests to me that you're the insecure, fragile, emotional, mediocre moron. Again, you're just a talking head douchebag. You don't do anything, bro. Like I mentioned earlier in the podcast that like I was working with these contractors, I'm doing all this hard work, and you know, most of them were white boys. You know, there's just white guys, right? Just people of European heritage, and we're fucking working hard, man. We're in the fucking sun, we're sweating our asses off, we're working in dangerous conditions, and we're doing some real world shit. This fucking limp-wristed fruitcake soy guy, this bug man, he could never fucking do the things that we do. Yeah, Wajahat Ali, nothing you've ever done has impressed anybody. I bet you this Wajahat Ali guy was at a bar and he sees some like, you know, pretty chick, and then she wasn't interested in him and she ended up going home with like the so-called mediocre, fragile white guy. And that's like his story arc. I mean, that's really where a lot of this anger and resentment comes from. I noticed it a lot with Cenk Yogurt of the Young Turks. Like, he'll call white women whores in training because he can't bang white chicks. He's tried and he's failed. And the resentment is there, and he's always talking about like, oh, these scared little white boys. I'm like, I don't think they're scared, bro. I think they're just sick of your shit. Wajahat is retarded. He's baiting you. His people have no plumbing. So kind of funny. Friedrich Marx. I mean, it's not. I don't think this is bait. I think this is what he genuinely believes. He's not clever enough to bait people, because he takes himself way too seriously to be baiting. If it was Mudahar, then I'd be like, yeah, that guy's baiting, you know, because I guess he's like a fraud or something. If it is objectively true that white people are in a sad state, we can't lie about that. I don't mean that in the same way this guy. No, being in a sad state is totally different than insulting somebody, right? So like earlier, I was kind of lamenting about the stuff that I was going through. So if someone's like, well, you're a weak bitch, that's an insult. But if someone's like, hey man, you look really upset with how things have been going with your contracting work, I'd be like, that's correct. And yeah, I mean, like, look, people of European extraction have an uphill battle right now. Because this kind of racism is permitted and totally like encouraged really by a lot of these institutions. And again, thank God President Trump is putting an end to the majority of these DI programs. They're combating this genuine racism, and you know they're preventing it, and they're trying to pretend like, oh well, they need to make an even playing field so that these mediocre white guys can compete. No, bro, that's never been like that at all. These guys have built a really amazing country, absent your presence, without any of the intervention from people who look like you. And then you come here, you petition the government to give you affirmative action, to give you preferential treatment, to implement H-1B visa status type employment, and you devalue the wages of people. And then when they bitch and complain and fight back or vote against you, then you'll insult them and call them names. I see what's going on here. And people got to be brave enough to call it out. I'm not afraid to call it out. Let's see, why people need to better have a sense of our people. I agree. Network, make friends. And we are seeing a lot of that, Buckaroo Bonsai. We are seeing a lot of that, and it's trending in a positive direction. And the whole pod lifestyle and excess introversion. Yeah, I agree. Take small steps, work out, garden, play tennis, etc. Yeah, I mean, that's really like the most important thing. I mean, we should be using tech to at least link up with each other, but a lot of what needs to be done in person. We need to like that thing in Arkansas. I think it was like return to the woods or return to the roots or whatever, and they're bitching about this so-called all-white community. They're complaining that these people are like clicking up, and you know they're making a home for themselves with like-minded individuals, and I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I see nothing wrong with that at all, and if anything, it's probably really necessary. He looks like his wife hates him. I don't know if he's married. He might be. Black people are a gay psyop. Be American, be Italian, be African, but just stop being psyops. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, like the reality is America has always been kind of diverse, and we should be getting along and not getting too caught up in this shit. But we should be absolutely rejecting the rhetoric from assholes like this. Why just so scared? Then why is a mentally ill white guy in the streets is the scariest thing around? He might wear your skin. I don't know what you mean by that, Friedrich Marx. All right, so what else have we got here? I think we got one more hoax hate. I'm not gonna scram. So Jesse Small at the back, he slammed Chicago police Rahm Emanuel's villains while denying hate crime hoax. And my nigga come back. My story has never changed. Yeah, I mean that's all it is. It's a story. Dude, there might be more to this. There might be more to this because there might be a conspiracy behind this story. So in a weird roundabout way, he might not be lying. He might have been compelled to tell this lie because immediately after the fake hoax, the fake hate crime, Kamala Harris was able to pass an anti-lynching bill. So legislation was literally passed as a result of this fake hate crime. And he might have been put up to it. His life might have been threatened. They're like, hey, Jussie Smollett, you better play ball or there's going to be dire consequences, which is why he started crying and saying he was not suicidal. So he's probably scared of the Obamas. The Obamas and their people, they were probably up to this, in my opinion. I mean, it could be wrong, but yeah. What else do we have here? Former Bravo star. Let's just hear what she has to say.
White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat out of the Mexican restaurant, get your fat over to Cracker Barrel.
I don't know why the audio stopped.
Culture.
Oh yeah, it just stopped. Yeah, so former Bravo star Jennifer Welch says Trump voters should be banned from Mexican, Indian, and Chinese restaurants. Yeah, dude, that food is gross and overrated. It's just goy slop of a different culture. You should be eating healthy. All right, so what do we got here? We have some cringe, I guess.
Excuse my language, but to that I say fuck ICE and fuck the Trump administration.
She's so proud of herself. Ugh. Yeah, enough of this shit. Yeah, dude, we got to do another 4 years of Trump. He should serve a third term. I think that'd be great. Just to piss off stupid kids like this, stupid college dorks like this. Let me see. Do I have anything funny bookmarked? Actually, I know I don't. I haven't been bookmarking everything. Everything that I want to discuss and talk about, it's on the show. It's because Sean replied. Or he reposted my thing, or he liked my post. Thank you, buddy. I should probably have Sean, Schizo Sean on here. He is a griper. Again, excuse me. Yeah, everything I said earlier about like Nick and stuff, and like how I feel about the serious topics that I went over. Like I got nothing against like the groypers. I've met a lot of them, and I think a lot of them are really good kids. And they're sweet kids, and I get the appeal of Nick, but I mean, I don't know, guys. I got to step away from a lot of that stuff that I'm seeing on the internet. Let's see what else we got here. Stop relaxing. You know, I didn't talk about. Did I talk about this one? This Riley chick here.
Doing fun things outdoors.
Yeah, so thousands of men and women spoke out in favor of Riley. So I guess Riley's a little redhead girl that was rejected. A Mormon dating show, blaming the men who rejected her as being immature and no fun. But Riley actually kept shooting her shot during the rest of the episode. Yeah, so she was resoundingly rejected. And Ramsey Paul, who he's cool, but he's kind of a boomer. He says, I really don't understand the Riley hate. She's not overweight, fairly attractive, and sort of goofy. I mean, yeah, dude, I would totally give Riley a shot, IRL. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. So this is what I wrote. Hey, Boomer Ramsey Paul. I enjoy your takes most of the time, but if this is hard for you to understand, I'll come to unpack it. I went to BYU one semester, dated a Mormon girl seriously. I loved her. I thought we'd get married. I've come to know quite a few Mormon bros myself. They want serious relationships grounded in reality and godliness. The Riley girl is super dorky about traveling a lot and mentions she's going to be staying in another country for an extended period of time. How the fuck are you going to go on a dating show only to fuck off for months to a year in another country? Most guys are so jaded. They believe she's going to fuck other dudes, even if she's seen someone back in the States. Probably not fair to her, but the stats are not on the side of the bro who expects faithfulness. She's not in a place to be dating seriously. You'd have to be a fucking moron to date this super wacky girl who loves to travel and do stupid shit like diving in the ocean. Also, that's expensive. Most guys be struggling. She's just not a realistic partner in life. And that's just the reality of it. There's really no other way to put it. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with these women. I didn't see the episode. I've only seen clips here and there. I don't have time to watch this shit. But, no, like, again, Riley, I think she looks good. I think she would be a totally suitable for serious dating. However, there's red flags there. She likes to travel. She's traveling solo. I don't care what her beliefs are. Something's probably going to happen overseas. If I'm dating this chick seriously and then she fucks off to another country for an extended period of time, I mean, I don't think that's great. Again, I see red flags here. If it was one of my bros and like, yo, dude, I'm going to date this chick from this dating show, and I'm like, oh, let me see the episode. And then I would have seen this. I'd be like, dude, you gotta cut this off right away. Like, this isn't going to work. Like, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak, bro. Like, this is a disaster waiting to happen. Oh, God. Yeah, so that's all I really got. Let me see. Yeah, there was another clip where she was like, she had like witch-themed parties where they're like casting spells and shit. I don't know, dude. She's too fucking dorky for my taste. I like fucking bad bitches, dude. Like hipster chicks. Like, she's not a hip. She's just fucking strange. And that's coming from me. I'm a fucking strange dude. 2 or 3 men buying a house in Iowa, Maine, Dakotas, or somewhere cheap like that is a good strategy to start a small network community on the cheap. Yeah, and it's also happening here in the Southwest. I know they're going to be doing that in Arizona. So it's growing, man. It can grow in power and affluence faster than most would think. It probably would. BCH, Barry looks human. She looked like the Wicked Witch of the West, minus the green skin. She was a Grigga. I don't know about that, but I don't know, dude. Like all these chicks. Let's see. She'd probably be my first pick. Then this one would be my second. Then Riley would be the third. And I think she would be my third because she's taller, and I would want a tall child. And then Riley would be last because she's gonna be in Australia, diving with the fucking sharks, hanging out with Friedrich Marx. Let's see. She just threw up red flags. That's all. Likes to travel. Expensive future wife. More like expensive future nothing. Yeah, dude. I mean, like there's nothing inherently wrong with traveling. Like I have really close friends, and they go traveling with like their significant others, and I think that's great. I think if you're doing it together, fantastic. Doing it with your family, fantastic. I think traveling is good, but when she's like, I'm a bad bitch, I don't need no man, I'm independent and all that stuff, and like they're like going to New York, they're going to Laguna Beach, they're going to Miami, they're going to Dubai, like I'm out. Not hanging out with me, you. All right, so Friedrich Marx, dude, now Friedrich Marx rejected Riley. Dude, everyone's rejecting Riley. I mean, like, look, she's young and she's probably on the internet. She's probably read all these comments. She probably realizes like the error of her ways. I mean, I don't know. This is off-putting to normal dudes. Like for normal dudes, and like all those dudes in there, they all look like really proper, well-educated guys. I think they're all BYU students or former BYU students, and like her behavior just did not jive with them at all. And it was also really interesting to see that so many of them were like all saying the same thing, like dating sucks, the dating market is shit, dating is rough. I mean, Provo is kind of a smaller town. It's a college town, you know. It's like a bunch of college kids and some families and some young professionals. It's kind of growing. The professional class is growing there. So, I guess the more affluent you are, I guess the easier it will be to find a partner. And I guess the youngsters are gonna get kind of fucked over. But I don't know. I don't live there, so good luck to them, I suppose. I don't know who this Riley, because I was doing fathership, but I assume she did some fatherless behaviors. I don't know. All these girls are just single and on this dating show, and they just explained, what their hobbies were, what they like to do, yada, yada, yada. So she was like, I like to do diving in the ocean and traveling, and she's going to travel to Australia for like a fucking year or something. So I'm just like, why are you going to Australia? But before that, you're going on this dating show. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, she's just like, you're just dumb. That just tells me that she's a dumb girl. So yeah. So the show is a minute over 3 hours. I didn't go 4. We did consume sins. We got everything out of the way. So yeah, I'll try to be more present, guys. I'm surprised I even have almost like 20 viewers. I don't even know how I'm doing on BitChute or Rumble. But yeah. I just need to get these projects done. Like I mentioned earlier, like I need to be really, really on top of my game with these remodels, with these very, very serious projects, as I have obligations to people. I have deadlines, and I bit off way more than I can chew. And the only way that this works is if I fucking work myself to death. And there's just no other way out of this other than working incredibly hard for very long hours. I came home the other day, and I walked through the front door, and I collapsed in my living room, and I'm just laying down, looking up at the ceiling, and I was unable to physically move because I was so tired. I was actually looking at this suit. Let me go ahead and pull something up here. It's from this company that I just heard about recently, because I buy Milwaukee tools, and there's this company that sells really, really high-end tools, very similar to like Bosch or Makita and Milwaukee, and it's called Hilti. I think this is a German company, and they're selling an exosuit, and I'm thinking I'm going to need something like this. Cause like, dude, I got them little T-Rex arms, like I just don't like, I do electrical work. Like I don't have the fucking, my work isn't that hard. Do I need to be skilled and proficient and fucking very knowledgeable? Yes. But am I lifting heavy tools and working overhead? No, but I am now doing very extensive drywall repair work. And it wears me out so damn quick. Or even when I'm mudding, I mix my hot mud and I'm skimming the walls, flattening them all out because there's like all this texture all throughout the house and it looks hideous and it has to be flattened. It all needs to be uniform. And you get the skimming blade and you're just like, dude, I feel like this exosuit is the key to getting this done. Dude, if I wear this exosuit, let me zoom in on this. If I wear this exosuit, I think I can get the work done in like 3 or 4 days. I don't know, bros. But yeah, I mean, that's a problem because like when you're like holding shit over your head, like it's not like the tools aren't that heavy. They're like maybe 30, 40 pounds. And I'm just like, meh. But when you're like this for like 10 minutes, holding up like an electric pole sander or even just like pole sanding, dude, because it's just so hard work, man. So hard. I don't know. Would you guys want to see a video of me doing that shit? Let's see. Just buy some, feel free, you cock. No, I'm gonna be like working, and I'm gonna get like flake. My skin's gonna be peeling off. It's gonna end up on the walls. I'm gonna have to fucking sand it down forever. Extroverted people like you tend to overschedule. Hold on, let me read this. Tend to overschedule. No offense, I've seen it before. Yeah, Buckaroo Bunza, you're probably right. Yeah, I'm overextending myself, biting up more than I can chew. I need an exosuit. Like, no man, that suit will just make you weaker, dude. I'm already weak, bro. I'm so fucking tired. Just work out more. Having this can be a hazard if you're doing electrical work. No, I'm not. I'm doing drywall work, not electrical work. Just do strength training. That won't be cardio. Your cardio will be at work. Hire someone to help you at that rate, man. Dude, the drywall work that I'm doing, I was quoted the least amount was 17 grand. It was 17 grand to do what I'm doing. Exosuit should be more combat and training only. Don't use it regularly. You need to build your own strength. I'll come supervise, tell you to work harder. Fuck you, Sadie Dispatch. Giovanni wouldn't last a day in the real trades. See how electrical people are the white collar of the blue. Dude, I know. Dude, I read the comments on Facebook with people with like plumbers and shit, and they're like talking shit about electricians, and then we talk about how like stupid all these people are. And I'm just like, look, my view. No one's better than anybody else. We all work together in the same house, and we got to get the job done. Fuck that. 17K is a ripoff. It's not a ripoff. Just hire a Mexican. All right, we don't have that anymore. Yeah, dude, all the Mexicans are gone, man. It's hard to find them. Dude, drywall repair work is very, very difficult. Like, I'll spin it to you like this. So if you have a wall, I'm gonna just be fucking real with you guys. All right, so there was this wall in one of the bedrooms that had a giant, massive mirror. It was almost as big as this wall behind me, okay? So I had a giant, massive mirror, and I did my best to try to save it because I can sell that for money. We could have salvaged it, whatever, but we couldn't save it, so we had to remove it. We had to demo it, right? So we taped it off, we smashed it, we cleaned the glass up, done. But the way that those mirrors are held up on a wall is that they are glued there with very, very heavy-duty construction adhesive. So when you remove that construction adhesive, it tears the front the front layers of the wallpaper, or not the drywall, off. So you're exposed with the what they call brown paper or gypsum. So it's exposed. And there's two ways to remedy that. You can cut it out and replace it with some new drywall from the store. Okay. Or you can repair it. I chose to repair it because if you start cutting through this drywall, because of the age of the home, it is very likely you will expose yourself to asbestos. So you wear the mask. I have this very special tool to sand down the brown paper, and it vacuums up all the little dust, so I'm not getting anything in the air. HEPA bag, HEPA filter in the vacuum. And once it's sanded down and it's really, really smooth, you hit the entire wall with oil-based primer. Very extreme, heavy-duty oil-based primer. I use Sherwin-Williams brand that I get at Lowe's. It's $150 for 5 gallons. So I paint the wall. You got 2 coats. And then you got to skim it so you flatten it out, and it's as if nothing ever happened to this wall. And if you skim it properly, the wall's going to be completely flat, and you have a semi-level 5 finish. And you have to do that. I have to do that in 3 rooms. Granted, the master bedroom was the worst one. The other rooms don't have that damage. But the living room did, because they had these wooden panels on the fucking wall, and I had to remove them. And the nails just ripped off pieces and chunks of the fucking the front layers of the drywall. So it's like, I already did the hardest part, and now I just have to skim it. So if you pay someone to do this work that I am doing, it is going to cost you, if you're lucky, maybe 10 grand. I did talk with like a Mexican, and he said 7 grand, and it was for the hallway only. So the $17,000 is probably a low ball estimate. However, I can do this work. I know how to do this work. I've done it on a smaller scale. I've never done it on this big scale, on this large scale, and I'm doing it in multiple remodels. So yeah, you just got to suck it up and do it, man. look, my ancestors and the people who built this country worked harder than me. If they can do it, I can do it. All right? So it just sucks. I got to do this. This is it, guys. This is it. Like, it's got to be done. Let me see. Blacks are, I'm like, God damn it, Drill. I can't read that. I can probably get H1. No, I can't get H1B visas. They're too weak. They're too frail. In my opinion, asbestos is just as dangerous as fiberglass. Both are glass-like on the microscopic level. Only one is considered to be damaging to the lungs. I disagree, just my opinion. Look, both of them are bad, man. Both of them are really, really bad. Are you Victor Noworski from the terminal? I don't know what that is. Asbestos is generally safe. I've only ever lived in 70, 100-year-old houses. My lungs are at least mid, and I'm only in my 30s. Like, look, the previous homeowner in one of these projects, he never got sick. And again, if I do everything correctly, like, this isn't a problem. So when I had to sand down parts of the drywall that were damaged, that has brown exposed paper, again, I have a very, very special tool that I can sand it with a block, and it sucks up everything, so nothing hits the ground. And I'm also wearing a mask. And then also Melissa from the Woods, or Welcome to the Woods, total cutie. I fucking love her. So fucking pretty. She's doing some like demo, some renovation in a kitchen, and she's wearing a very basic bitch mask. Again, it's not that much of a problem as long as you're incredibly careful. You're wearing your PPE and you're sealing off spots where a bunch of sand and shit's gonna fly everywhere. Or in my case, I have a very heavy duty, high-end shop vac with a HEPA bag and a HEPA filter, and it's not going anywhere. Again, I only one time did I get a massive headache, and it was when I was removing drywall, I was removing construction adhesive, and I had the mask on, dude. That's what fucked with me. I had the mask on and everything, and I had all the doors and windows open. I'm sweating my fucking balls off, and I'm like, scraping the shit off and getting it off because you have to hit it with a heat gun, and then you use a good scraper, and then you just get it off. Dude, I had a headache, and luckily there was only one wall that needed it, but dude, it was brutal, man. I was in so much fucking pain. Like, I had such a massive headache. I don't think that construction adhesive had asbestos in it, but I could be wrong. Dude, I don't know. I don't think it did. I think it just smelled like burnt. It just smelled like fire. Yeah, I mean, the whole point is not to agitate the asbestos, because when you start agitating it with like a drywall saw, or if you're sanding it, that's a problem. Because like in the bedrooms, what I did was I encapsulated the popcorn ceiling, which I suspect has asbestos in it. I encapsulated it with oil-based paint because there were like nasty stains and shit on the ceiling. So I encapsulated it, and then I applied mud and I skimmed it, and it looks okay. It actually looks pretty decent. But it takes a long time to do, man. And it's really, really hard work. If you have another person helping you, it's pretty straightforward, but yeah. So I don't know. I can talk about this shit for days. So yeah, I am going to go out and smoke a cigarette. So I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back, and I'm hold on, wait. Before I leave, I want to make sure that I turn on ads before I'm gone. Boop, boop, boo, do, 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 do. Yeah, asbestos abatement is no joke, though. Yeah, it isn't a joke. And somebody's like, well, why don't you just do that? That's like another 10 grand. And not only that, they would be removing the wall, so I would just have to buy all the fucking material anyways, and it's bullshit. I have to buy new drywall, like sheets of drywall, and mount them. I don't know, dude. Maybe it'd be easier. It's too fucking late. It doesn't matter. It's over and done with. I'm more than halfway done with this project, so yeah, hopefully by September it's done. All right, guys. Well, I got to step out. I will see you guys next week. Had a lot of fun. Imagine wearing an exosuit and driving in your sleigh truck. Dude, that'd be so fucking cyberpunk, bro. Dude, like, look at this shit. Look at this fucking exosuit. It's so fucking badass. Let me see, where's my cursor at? Hell yeah, dude. I feel like a fucking badass wearing that shit. Someone's like, you're gonna get made fun of on the job site. I don't give a fuck, bro. I can work fucking 10 hours. You can't. I mean, it's kind of pricey. It's $1,600. There's a Hilti store in Las Vegas, and I called him today, bros. I swear to God, I called him today, and I'm like, dude, if you guys have this available right now, I'm gonna come right down there to your warehouse and buy it. And they're like, well, we don't have it in stock, but you can buy it on the website. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, Robo Nerd. I like this exosuit. Out of all the exosuits that are commercially available, this is the most affordable, and this is the one that makes the most sense. The most expensive one that I could buy is $3,000 from Festool, and it requires the batteries. And I'm not gonna be buying batteries for $250 a pop, because those batteries for the Festool are insanely expensive. They're more expensive than Milwaukee. They're more expensive than DeWalt. This Hilti, it's all like pulleys and levers and springs and like heavy duty like I don't know, bungee lines or whatever, wires, and it's really, really straightforward. It's cool because it just holds up your arms. It just holds up your arms like this, but you can dial it in. So when you want to like put your arms down, it's kind of a workout. So you're working out to put your arms down. But if you're holding up a pole sander, it takes no effort. You just got to hold it up like this and do your thing. Or if you're sanding manually, which I have a really, really nice pole sander that attaches to the shop vac, and no dust anywhere. I'm not trying to, and again, I have to work with the HVAC system off. I can't have the AC on because I don't want that shit circulating throughout the house. And it's, dude, and I'm just sweating my dick off, guys. It's so brutal. Well, no, you're not abusing the suit. I mean, that's literally what it's meant to be used for. I mean, look at it. This is how I would be using it. Let me see. Is there a guy with a pole sander in one of these images? No, but I mean, this is the closest one. I mean, this is basically me. So I'm going to be on a little platform, and I'm going to have the shop vac attached to my pole sander, and I have my little exosuit on, and then I'm just doing this. I'm just holding my arms up like this, sanding the walls down, sanding the walls down and leveling it out so you get that level 5 finish. And, and that's it, man. I mean, I feel like the tool would pay for itself if I can get this done in 3 days, because once the walls are done and they're painted, then I'm hiring a guy to come in and do the floors. And I just got a hold of somebody that is affiliated with my company, or they have this deal with my company, and they're like, dude, we can get you like 50% off, bro. Like, we're gonna fucking hook it up. So there's 2 companies that want to do that for me. So there's gonna be a bidding war there. And then once the floors are done, all I gotta do is the landscaping, which is gonna be like easy. And then I'm gonna install the cabinets myself. I gotta install the sinks in the bathroom and the kitchen. And I got to install the appliances, but the appliances are electrical. One of them is gas powered, and it's just, you're just threading them in. It's really, really straightforward. I mean, I can do all of that myself. So yeah, dude, guys, if you guys want me to do videos on that, just let me know in the comment section. I'll do videos on like the project and what's all required and stuff. And granted, I'll need permission just because people don't really like it when you film in their house and shit. Make sure it's not a China brand battery. They light up a lot. Well, I mean, I think most of these companies make their shit in China, but there's quality control with Festool and Milwaukee. If you buy from certain specified sellers like Home Depot or the site itself, if you buy it on Amazon, you're just begging to be ripped off because Amazon sells too much counterfeit shit. Working in AC, how white collar review. Home remodel channel now. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All right, guys. Well, I'm fucking tired. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to rest. And as soon as I wake up, back at it again. So everybody who joined me, mwah, thank you so much. Hope you guys are all well, staying out of trouble. God bless Trump and Trump again.